That's for Israel. Wonder is it real? Took the way you saw the world, then distorted it. The 12, you want more with it. Theories disproportionate, truth distorted, with a force over it. They forcing the cipher that we absorbing quick. Took the people's signature, that mean extorted it. They forging it, accusing us informants or informing them. There's a surplus, but they tell us there are shortages. Credit economy mortgages, dollar that's supported with empty fortresses. The war support is this support, it shows support with this support. So this is in accordance with the story. Just the foreign tricks, books forming this and forming this. It look like more story tricks. Pedophilia in the government endorsing it. This is exactly what abortion is. You just vilify those and subordinate. Way to matrix engineer, that's unfortunate. Geopolitically we in the field. That's for Israel. Wonder is it real? Rappers acting say they high, say they sipping pills. Glorify suicide so they get the bills. Big pharma set it up just to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in the field. That's for Israel. Wonder is it real?
What up? We got the mic. Hopefully this picks up interactions. And yeah, we're gonna get into it. So you know how this goes.
In the world. Oh yeah. We're offering $100 cash to anyone that can answer 3 basic questions about the globe Earth model. $100 cash. $100 cash. No strings attached. You don't have to pay to play. You don't have to pay if you get it wrong. $100 cash. Because whenever I say what I'm about to say, you guys are all going to get real big and bad and act like I'm stupid, but I'm offering $100 cash. If anyone here can answer 3 basic questions about the globe Earth model you should have learned in elementary school correctly. The first question, I'll even tell you what the first question is. How many times does the Earth spin every 24 hours? How many times does the Earth supposedly rotate every day? When you get that right in the next 2 questions right, you win $100 cash. $100. Will you tilt it down a little bit? Alright, so the reason I do this is to make a point. No one knows anything about the Earth, but you're all going to act like I'm stupid when I say what I'm about to say, which is funny. Okay, so the Earth is not a spinning ball in a vacuum. That's a lie. You can't go to space. No one's ever been to space. The moon landing was fake. That's why they haven't been back. We didn't land on the moon in 1969. That's dumb. Oh, we landed on the moon in 69. We just can't go back 50 years later because we destroyed the technology, and it's a painful process to build it back. That's a cool story. Okay, the Earth is actually flat. There you go. Get it out of your system. You're crazy. You're a flat earther. You're so dumb. That's why I offer $100 cash to anyone that can answer 3 questions about the globe Earth. I'm so dumb for not believing in. But no one can do it. You're supposed to learn it in elementary school. I know all the answers, though. I thought I was dumb. Basically, it's like telling me you think the Bible's real, but you haven't read Genesis yet. Why would I take your opinion about the book seriously? You haven't read it. If you don't know anything about the globe Earth or how to test it or how big it is or any of the claims about it, how do you know it's real? Interesting. So $100 cash. First question is, how many times does the Earth supposedly spin every day? It's the easiest question I could think of. You should have learned it in first grade. If you get that one right and the next 2 questions right, you win $100 cash. So we're going to talk about how the Earth's not a spinning ball in a vacuum. You can't go to space. That's stupid. Space is fake. Outer space, the vacuum of outer space is fake. Okay? Provably, scientifically, you can prove it. So you can't have a pressurized system sitting next to a vacuum. Most of you guys are breathing oxygen. I'm actually impressed how many people aren't scared of the air out here, so I'll give Michigan props for that. At least you guys aren't still scared of the air because the government told you to be scared to breathe. But anyway, what you're breathing is something called oxygen. That's a gas, okay? We have gas pressure on the Earth, 14.7 psi at the surface. You cannot have gas pressure sitting next to a vacuum of space. It's literally impossible. This violates something called the second law of thermodynamics. The second law of thermodynamics, which says that entropy will increase, pressure will fill the available space, and systems seek equilibrium. So basically, if you had the pressure sitting next to the vacuum, the pressure will instantaneously fill the vacuum. It's called the second law of thermodynamics. And most people want to ridicule from a distance, but I'll give you a heads up here. I actually debate aerospace engineers, astrophysicists, professors, astrophysicists. They can't answer this question either. So if you're so smart and you can come show how stupid the flat earther is, just come on up here and do it. Feel free to expose me. You can also get the $100 cash I'm offering any person here that thinks I'm crazy for not thinking the Earth's a ball. I give you $100 cash if you can answer 3 basic questions about the model correctly. Basic questions. First one's how many times the Earth supposedly spins every 24 hours. None of you guys know nothing about it. You know nothing about the globe Earth model. You don't know how big it is, how fast it spins, how far away the sun is, how fast we go around the sun. You don't know anything. You know nothing about it, but you know I'm crazy for not believing in it. I've tested it for 5 years, as have hundreds of millions of us all over the world. You've never tested it. You don't know anything about it, but you know I'm wrong, because the government went to the moon in 1969 with Nazis. They just can't go back. So anyway, we have an observation where we see mountains 200 miles away. Based on the globe Earth map, they should have been blocked by 1 mile of Earth curvature. Yeah, we saw the mountain, the top of the mountain, from 200 miles away. How's that work on the globe? It doesn't. Okay, we saw a skyline in Chicago from 60 miles away across Lake Michigan. How's that work on the globe? Based on the globe Earth map, you should have seen any of Chicago yet. We saw the entire skyline. How's that work on a ball? It doesn't. This is why the government has they forcibly censor flat Earth. Do you guys agree with the government censoring things? Do we have a First Amendment? No. First Amendment doesn't count unless the government says you're allowed to talk about something. Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys the little story that you think I'm crazy for not believing in. In 1969, we went to the moon, supposedly. You know how the U.S. military claimed they went to the moon? Nazis took us there. Do you guys know that? Nazis would never lie. It's called Operation Paperclip. It's declassified. We brought Nazis over here, and they took us to the moon. So would Nazis ever lie? No. I'm the conspiracy theorist because I don't blindly believe in Nazis who claim that we went to the moon in 1969. We just can't go back because we destroyed the technology that got us there. That's the official story from NASA. We can't replicate the technology from the 60s. It's too hard. That's why we can't go back to the moon. You guys think that sounds legit? World-renowned astronaut Don Pettit, verbatim quote, "I would go back to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back." So they can't go back to the moon in 2021, but you believe they did it in 1969? What a cool story. They supposedly also brought moon rocks back, and one of the governments they gave a moon rock was Holland. They tested the moon rock. It was actually petrified wood. Hey, if you went to the moon and had real moon rocks, why'd you have to come back and get fake moon rocks out? That's interesting. You have never heard any of this, though, because it wasn't on CNN, so if it's not CNN or Fox News telling you this, it can't be true. So let me go ahead and bust that bubble for you real quick, too. There's something called Operation Mockingbird. It's declassified. I've read it. It's been going on since the 70s. Operation Mockingbird says that the CIA has infiltrated the mainstream news. That's what they say. The CIA runs the news. When you watch news anchors arguing back and forth on Fox News and CNN and ABC and MSNBC and NBC, it's the CIA. That's what the CIA said. It's called Operation Mockingbird. They were actually asked about this in Congress. He said, wait, are you saying that the news anchors are CIA agents? And the CIA representative said, we need to continue this conversation behind closed doors. So you guys are watching CIA agents when you watch the mainstream news. That's what the CIA said. Okay? So, no, believe it or not, the CIA is not going to come out and tell you about how they lied to you on the government-run programs that they own. That's stupid. So anyway, we can't go back to the moon. They brought fake moon rocks back. The truth is you can't go to the moon. No one's ever been there. And that's why I haven't been back in 50 years in 2021. You guys think that we have a rover on Mars. We just can't send people back to the moon yet because we destroyed the technology. There's something called telemetry data that should have recorded all of it. It was miles and miles long. They said they accidentally lost it and taped over it and destroyed it. Sorry, we don't have any of the evidence. But trust us, we went. What a cool story. So I'm going to tell you the outline of events, and you will then find out why it is the government chose to lie about this at the least when they decided to do so. So in 1945, we did something called Operation Paperclip. That's when we brought Nazis over here. I thought we hated Nazis. Anyone ever heard of the Nazis? I thought we hated Nazis. I guess the U.S. government loves them. They brought them over here to work with us in 1945. The reason it's called Operation Paperclip is they actually put paper clips on certain soldiers' files of the Nazi regime so the U.S. government would know who they're going to bring over here. They identified them with paper clips. That's why it's called Operation Paperclip. We brought Nazi scientists over here in 1945. One of them that we brought over here took us to the moon, supposedly. His name is Werner van Braun, an SS officer, not just a scientist that was innocent, an SS officer of the Nazi regime. We brought him over here. His name is Werner van Braun. He supposedly took us to the moon. On his tombstone, he has Psalms 19:1. Psalms 19:1 says there's a firmament, strongest bronze that you cannot penetrate. So why did the guy that took us to space leave on his tombstone the verse that says you can't go to space? You guys see me? Sweet.
Here you go. Check this out.
So he left it out on his deathbed. You can't go to space. He let it out. He also wrote a science fiction book in the 50s. And in the shake your head because you know nothing about it. That's why you didn't say anything. You were standing beside me for 5 minutes. Anyway. So he also wrote a science fiction book in the 50s, this Nazi officer that took us to the moon. This is all verifiable, so shaking your head doesn't change objectivity. Okay, so in 1950s, he wrote a science fiction book. The main character's title is Elon, and in the book, Elon takes people to Mars for the first time. You ever heard of Elon Musk supposedly about to take us to Mars? So I guess the Nazi wasn't just good at taking us to the moon and mass murdering millions of people. He was also a prophet that predicted Elon Musk 70 years before he came to be. You guys think that's just a coincidence? Coincidence theorists. Bunch of coincidence theorists. In 1945, we brought Nazis over here. In 1946, we did something called Operation High Jump. That's where the U.S. government went and explored the Antarctic region. Okay? Now, according to the globe Earth, Antarctica is an ice cap, a little continent of ice on the bottom of a ball. According to the flat Earth, there seems to be an ice ring around us, and the governments won't let us go there. Okay, so this is what will prove the Earth's a ball or not. The U.S. military went and explored it in 1946. It's called Operation High Jump. We used someone called Admiral Byrd to do this, a well-decorated U.S. military general. He was in an interview on national television in 1954 after this mission of exploring Antarctica. He said, "It's astonishing to me that there's a landmass as big as the continental U.S. on the other side of Antarctica that no one's ever seen." He then died mysteriously in 1957. In 1958, NASA was founded, and in 1959, the government signed the Antarctic Treaty saying it's illegal for you to go there and explore it. Oh, what another coincidence. So the U.S. military went and explored the Antarctic region, past what's something called the 60th south latitude, effectively a circle around you. Then they came back. The guy that took us there said there's more land over there that you don't know about. Then he died, and then they signed the Antarctic Treaty, and every major world superpower has signed the treaty and is in agreement with the treaty that it's illegal for you guys, of the general public, to go explore Antarctica privately and freely. But they're not hiding anything, though. They signed the treaty that said it's illegal to go there as soon as they went and explored it. China, Russia, U.S., they're all on a peace treaty. It's called the Antarctic Treaty. I thought they were enemies. What happened to that? Now they all agree you're not allowed to go there. I thought we were the conspiracy theorists. Keep on blindly believing your government, though. It'll get better. Make sure you wear what they tell you you're allowed to wear. Make sure you obey their curfews and their lockdowns. The government loves you. That's why I put fluoride in your water so you have pretty teeth. Not because it calcifies your pineal gland and is poisonous and makes people docile and is in rat poison. It's so you have pretty teeth. The government loves you. That's why they lied about the Vietnam War. It was to protect you. That's why they lied about 9/11. To protect you, to make sure you're safe. You know, the government loves you. They would never lie. So they went to the Antarctic region, discovered what was there, and then said it was illegal for us to go there, which is what proved the Earth is a ball. You would circumnavigate it north to south, come up underneath it, pop back up on the other side. It's illegal to do that. Never been done in the history of mankind. What's up with that? Coincidence there? Why hasn't anyone done it? Why doesn't someone just shut the stupid flat earther down real fast? Just do a circumnavigation around the ball. You know why it's never been done? Because it can't be done, bro. Huh? Profound. We have observations that have debunked the globe Earth. So, in 1958, they founded NASA. In 1959, they signed the Antarctic Treaty. In 1961, JFK came out and said, we're going to go to the moon in 8 years. America's going to be the first people to land on the moon in 8 years. 1962, we did something called Operation Fishbowl. It was part of a bigger operation called Operation Dominique, which translates to of the Lord. So it literally means fishbowl of the Lord. They shot high-altitude missiles up, and they exploded at different altitudes as they mapped out the containment, the firmament over top of the Earth. It was called Operation Fishbowl of the Lord. Then JFK got assassinated. Then in 1968, they came out with a movie called Space Odyssey about a moon landing. It won Film of the Year as they brainwashed everyone for the propaganda they were about to lie to them about. Film of the Year. Then in 1969, they said they went to the moon because Nazis took us there. We just can't go back 50 years later. We accidentally destroyed the technology. Well, what a cool story. The moon landing wasn't real. It wasn't real. You have any evidence it was real? Anybody want to tell me how they talked to the president from 238,000 miles away on a landline with no delay? You want to tell me why we can't go back when we give NASA $60 million a day? You want to tell me why we can't replicate the technology from 1969? That's the official excuse. We destroyed it, but we can't rebuild it. Anyone want to tell me where all the evidence of it went? Why'd they bring back fake moon rocks? Oh, something's not adding up here. Actually, one of the astronauts that was supposed to go to the moon, he came out and said, we'll never go to the moon. The year before the moon landing, he said, we'll never make it. We haven't even made it to low Earth orbit yet. We can't even communicate in our same building. How will we go to the moon? He then hung a lemon on the module. He randomly exploded right after that and died in a routine checking of wires. What's going on, man?
Hey, how you doing, man?
Pretty good.
Hey, is the land flat?
Earth's flat, yeah.
The land's flat, the earth's flat.
Yeah, you're right about
So you look out as far as you can tell. That's as far as you go.
it. Yeah, you see the horizon?
That's it.
It's horizontal, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what horizontal means?
Yeah, it's as far as it goes.
It means flat.
Straight, flat.
That's why it's called a horizon, because it's horizontal. Yeah.
There's no vertical in life.
There's no vertical curvature that blocks your view on the Earth, no.
Yeah, no. So
Yeah.
we just stand here.
What?
We just stand here.
Just stand here?
We just stand here. We don't go nowhere.
What do you mean you go nowhere? You travel around the Earth, that's flat.
We flat.
Yeah, it's flat.
So we're in Traverse City, Michigan.
We're in Traverse.
So where do we go if we go one way?
Well, you travel based on compass directions, so you go east or west relative to north.
So which way do we end up?
Whichever way you travel based on your compass that points north.
So we end up going that way, and so far we end up south.
The Earth doesn't all of a sudden become smaller because it's flat. It's not a spinning ball in a vacuum. That's dumb. They lied. It doesn't curve anywhere. We've seen mountains 200 miles away that should have been blocked by 1 mile of Earth curvature. So if I walk up, say, let's use a pregnant woman as an example so everyone can fully understand. If a woman's pregnant and she takes her hand and rubs over her stomach, eventually you won't see her stomach anymore because her stomach's blocking her hand. You won't see her hand, right? Because her stomach physically blocks it because it's curving. The Earth has to do that if it's a ball and at a certain rate based on the radius value of 3,959 miles. It doesn't do that. We falsify the radius. That's why I've been kicked off YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Venmo, PayPal. They're forcibly censoring it and the Congress admits so. You can test this. It's not a theory. It's not about what I think. So I need better than trolling questions. Yeah, they're going to try to throw me off here. Alright, well, it is flat, but I'm offering $100 cash to anyone here that can answer 3 basic questions about the globe Earth correctly. Since I'm so crazy for not believing the Earth's a globe that spins around in a vacuum that we just never feel and always looks flat, and the sky resets over top of it perfectly for all recorded history, and we see mountains from hundreds of miles away to be blocked by curvature. Since I'm so crazy, all you have to do is come up here and show me you even know anything about it. $100 cash, answer 3 basic questions about the globe Earth right, and I'm not asking you to define the theory of relativity. It's the easiest questions I can think of.
Do I have to put up money for this?
No, it's free to play.
So, what's the question then?
How fast does the Earth spin?
Okay, wait a minute.
All the flat earthers know the answer. Crazy how that works.
Yeah.
All the flat earthers know all these answers. None of the people here that ridicule flat earthers know anything about it though. Don't you see the irony there? It's pretty rich.
I understand where you're coming from with that.
Yeah. It's like telling me the Bible's real, but y'all haven't read it yet. Like, what? How do you know it's real?
It ain't real.
The Bible is real. The scriptures are real, but man messed it up with religion and changed it in different translations.
The thing is,
Do you know the answer, man? How fast does the Earth supposedly spin?
7,800,000 miles an hour.
780,000 miles per hour. No. It rotates 1,000 miles per hour. 1,037 miles per hour east of the equator. So I would have taken 1,000 or 1,040, but I can't take 780,000, which would be ridiculous. We'd be flying off into this magical space that doesn't exist. Okay, so this is the truth. The Earth is the bottom of everything. If you Google Flat Earth, you will find something called Flat Earth Society. Not one real Flat Earther's in it, though. So you can't find me, you can't find Globebusters or Jeranism or any of the really big channels or the real Flat Earthers that have been putting out work. You will find something called the Flat Earth Society, because Congress admitted they censor everything else. And Flat Earth Society says, do you think you can fall off? You can't fall off. Most people say, so can I fall off the Earth if it's flat? And they really think that's a good home run question. Wow, intellectual giants. Can you fall off of a lake? Hey, can you fall off of a pond? That's how dumb the question is. Of course not. So we have ocean water on the Earth and something's containing it, and every world military in the world's agreed it's illegal for you to go there. It's called the Antarctic Treaty. So to pretend that you know what's over there when you literally can't go there is meaning that you're lying. You're blindly believing cartoons you were shown in 5th grade from the government textbooks. The same government textbooks that told you Columbus discovered America when people were already here. What a cool story. They would never lie, though. Okay, so every major world country has all agreed it's illegal for you to go here. And this is what we prove the Earth's a ball. Someone actually did try to circumnavigate the Earth back in the day. He went 68,000 miles in a circle, and the entire time all he saw was an ice shelf. Antarctica is known to have the highest elevation in the world. It's higher than the water. It contains the water, which is convenient because fluid statics is just a natural law, right? It says water finds its level. It has to be contained. It conforms to its container. Always. I don't have a clear bottle with me, but if you take a bottle of water and you flip it over every angle, it's going to always find its level. That's why we put fluid in levels. So how is 70% of a ball water? He's saying gravity because he's been trained to say it. So let's talk about gravity. You guys are like dogs that were told words to say. And whenever you can't answer questions, you know that you have to just invoke your god of the heliocentric model, which is gravity. Right? No one can define gravity, though. Does anyone here know what the definition of gravity is in 2021? What's so funny? What's so funny? I read the theory of relativity twice. You don't even know what it is.
The mystery spot.
Okay, so yeah, people will walk up and they'll drop something, but you don't believe in gravity? Wow. When you drop something, if it's more dense than the air, it goes down. When I drop a helium balloon, it goes up. You know why? Because the helium balloon is less dense than the surrounding air. It's lighter than the surrounding air. Not because it's gravity proof. It goes up because it's less dense. Things go down because they're more dense. Right? So if I take a beach ball and I throw it in the air, it'll fall down because it's more dense than the surrounding air. If I take that beach ball to the bottom of a pool and I let go of it, it will go up. That's because it's less dense than the water that it's in. The water is more dense. It's called relative density. Gravity is just a theory, has no scientific evidence, has never been isolated. Most people say they think gravity is mass attracting mass, which is from 1915. It's been superseded for over 100 years. You guys don't even know the current definition of gravity, which is actually the theory of relativity, that gravity is the effect of the bending and warping of space-time. You didn't know that, but you know gravity's real. You really thought this one out. Space is a conceptual abstraction. Time is a conceptual abstraction. A human construct we use to count the cycle of the sky. Those are both concepts. Concepts cannot bend and warp. You cannot attribute physical properties to conceptual abstractions. Can anyone bend freedom for me? You want to bend love for me? The theory of relativity is a theory that doesn't work. And the only evidence for gravity, supposedly, is that we know the Earth's a ball. And well, if the Earth's a ball, gravity has to exist because it has to explain only directionality. You being in all directions stuck to the ball. There has to be some immense power pulling you to the ball. Gravity isn't real, bro. Are helium balloons gravity proof? Are helium balloons gravity proof? All the people ridiculing me from the distance. Anyone want to answer? Are helium balloons gravity proof? Wow, I thought I was the dumb one. No, see, the helium goes up. It's less dense than the surrounding air. It's called relative density. Guess you guys forgot to add in the only provable factor that's actually there. Gravity is literally just a theory to explain a ball. So every time I ask you questions about, well, if water always finds its level, how is 70% of the Earth ocean water? If the Earth's a ball, how is 70% of it flat? You just say gravity, because you've been trained to just say the word over and over and again. You don't know how to define it. There's no evidence for it. It's just a fairy tale you were told to say over and over. Whenever I ask you, how is there gas pressure sitting next to the vacuum of space? Because the gas pressure would immediately fill the vacuum. It's called the second law of thermodynamics. I debate astrophysics professors, and they can't answer this question. But you guys are so tough from the distance. It's so funny and never gets old, dude. You guys are so big and bad whenever y'all walk by, ridicule from the distance, because it's easier to self-project your intellectual insecurity and your ignorance on other people because you know nothing about it. I'll give you $100 if you can answer 3 questions about the globe Earth, since it's so funny. Yeah, because you could never answer them. You know nothing about it. $100 cash to anyone here that knows the 3 basics. You want to try? Let's hear. Okay, what tilts the Earth? What tilts the Earth on? What axis tilts the Earth on?
What do you mean by that?
What degree tilt is the Earth supposedly on? Oh. Okay. Wow. 0 for 1. 23.4 degrees.
Do some research, I guess.
I guess you should do some research where you ridicule people for not believing what you don't understand yet.
I haven't read it.
But your buddy there has, so we're going to keep it pushing. So the Earth's not a spinning ball in a vacuum. That's dumb. That defies physics. You can't have gas pressure sitting next to a vacuum. It's impossible. And since we used to have someone else out here, let me point this out too. For a lot of people here claim they believe in the Bible, right? The Bible is objectively a flat earth book, as is every ancient civilization's religious text or any type of ancient text that's ever existed. There's not one religion except for Mormonism and Scientology that it says the Earth's a spinning planet. The Bible says the Earth's flat. Every single religious text ever says the Earth's flat. So, I believe in the Bible, but I have to twist it and bend it and say the Creator was wrong when He told me what the Earth was and that it has a firmament, that it's immovable and fixed. Because when it says immovable and fixed, it actually means spinning and revolving around the sun, shooting through space. Nothing's important about you. Lightning struck primordial soup and you evolved from apes. What a cool story. That's fake also. In case you guys haven't caught on to the fact that evolution is stupid and has no evidence, that isn't real. Evolution's not real. Evolution's fake. You're special. You were created. The Creator loves you. He gave you a spirit and a soul. You did not come from rocks. You did not come from apes. You're very beautiful and created in the image of the Creator, and He loves you. He gave you lots of power and a beautiful spirit. So don't let people tell you that you're not important, or that you came from monkeys or rocks or any of that. None of that's true. None of that's true at all. It's actually despicable when they lie to children and tell them that they're not important. And even though you don't feel like you're moving, you have to blindly believe you're spinning 1,000 miles per hour. Everything came from nothing, an ever-expanding universe of nothingness, even though the Big Bang Theory was proposed by a Catholic priest. I guess you guys must have missed that. His name is George Lamonte. A Catholic priest proposed the Big Bang Theory. And there's also no such thing as an atheism while I'm on the subject. There's no such thing as atheism. It doesn't exist. There's not one real atheist in the world. Because the etymology of atheist means no creator, no deity. You have to say you know for a 100% fact that there is no creator, and no one can honestly say they know for a fact there is no creator. So you're agnostic. I hate to bust your bubble. You're agnostic at best. No such thing as atheism. Doesn't exist.
Does that mean there's no such thing as religion either? Or no one knows for sure if there's a God?
Well, that's not the definition of religion. And religion sucks, bro. No, he didn't get me because they acknowledge that they're believing there's a creator. Atheism tries to pretend that atheism would be saying you know there is no creator. And religion is man-made doctrine, right? So I say the scriptures are true, but they're heavily messed with, and I hate religion. I don't listen to men. But there's a creator, that's for sure. Thank you, man.
That's just flat, right? The Earth?
Earth's flat, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, for sure. Test it for 5 years, bro.
Can I have one? Thanks, baby.
You guys have a good day.
Alright, later. Yeah, they lied about the Earth. It's special, it doesn't curve. Okay, we have mountains and valleys. It's called a topographical plane. It doesn't curve anywhere. See, people get real uncomfortable, so they just laugh and they want to make fun, and I get it, right? But you should take down your pride a little bit and realize that one side of this conversation knows everything about it, and you know nothing about it. So that's called being dishonest. So we saw mountains from 200 miles away. Based on the globe Earth map of a radius value of 3,959 miles, you should not have been able to see the mountains. They should have been blocked by 1 mile. Does everyone know how long a mile is? By 1 mile of Earth curve should have blocked the top of the mountain. Yeah, we saw the top of the mountain from 200 miles away. Where's the missing 1 mile of Earth curvature, since I'm so stupid for not thinking the Earth's a ball? Let me enlighten everyone here. If the Earth's a ball, it has to curve, and if it curves, it has to block your view with the curve. It's called geometry. I know, very profound, huh? You have to see the curvature of the Earth at 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. It's basic geometry based on the radius value of 3959. Okay, well, what's the square root of 1? 1. What's 1 times 1.225? 1.225. Which means, if the Earth is in fact this magic spinning cartoon ball they showed us cartoons of and brainwashed us with space stories that weren't real since we were 5, then we would see the curvature of the Earth at 1.2 miles away if we're 1 foot off the surface of the Earth. This is based on the geometry of the globe Earth, okay? We have an observation 1 foot off the surface. The horizon's over 10 miles away. Not 1 mile, 10 miles, requiring the radius value to be 264,000 miles, and they claim it's under 4,000 miles. We falsified the radius. What's up with that? What's up with that? And then here's the kicker. If the radius value is wrong, the entire model's wrong. Day and night cycle uses the radius value. Gravity uses the radius value. To ever go to space, you need something called radius of orbit, which means you need an accurate radius value. Every story they told you about space has to be fake if there's a radius value wrong. Distances on the Earth use the radius value. Well, we know the distance is on the Earth, so if the radius is wrong, the Earth is not a sphere. We falsify the radius. And again, I debate astrophysics professors, so they can't answer these questions either. So save the text, right? Just open your mind and listen to the information. The Earth is not a curving surface. The Earth's not a sphere. It's the bottom of everything. The lights move over top of here and reset for all recorded history in perfect circles around Polaris, the North Pole star, and they reset for all recorded history. For thousands of years, the Egyptians built megalithic structures that line up with the same stars that line up with the day from thousands of years ago. How's that work? Why does the sky reset every single year in a perfect circle around Polaris? Does anyone know? Why does that work? I thought we were spinning 1,000 miles per hour while going around the sun 66,600 miles per hour, while the sun shoots through space 500,000 miles per hour, while the galaxy shoots 1.3 million miles per hour. Why do we keep getting the same perfect circles resetting every single year around Polaris? What's up?
Well, what about all the astronauts that saw that it was a marble?
What about all the astronauts that saw it was a marble? There's only 24 people in the history of mankind that claim to go up past low Earth orbit. Do you think that 24 people could lie?
Well, there's many pictures of the Earth being circular.
There's many pictures of the Earth being circular. For one, a quarter is a circle, right? But it's not a ball. Secondly, there are not pictures of the Earth being circular. So they admit that the pictures they show you, like the infamous blue marble picture, they admit on NASA's website it's just a cartoon, it's not a real picture. Yeah. So what they say on their website, you can look it up, it's Roger Simmons, NASA.gov, blue marble. It says, we take high altitude pictures from high altitude, map it on a flat map surface, wrap it around a sphere, bring an artist in to do an artist rendition to match what the observer expects it to look like. Robert Simmons is the artist's name, and he's quoted as saying, of course it's Photoshopped, it has to be. And that's the picture that was the default wallpaper on the iPhone first generation. Everyone thought, we went to space, look how pretty the Earth is, look at the blue marble picture. It's admittedly a cartoon by NASA who gave you the picture. So it's not a picture, it's an image. What's up with that? That's not weird. You know, we went to the moon in '69 and saw the Earth, but apparently we can't get real pictures in the 21st century still. That's just a coincidence. You guys are coincidence theorists. So there aren't real pictures of the Earth from space. What's up with that? Why do you have to show us cartoons if they went to the moon in '69? Why does NASA say they give us cartoons and they're not real pictures of the Earth? Did anyone know that? I didn't know that, but the Earth's still a ball, I promise. We can still go to space, just because I believe it. So there's no real pictures of the Earth being a ball. That doesn't exist. Because they faked the moon landing. They did not land on the moon. I still can't believe that people in 2021 think we went to the moon. It baffles me, bro. It baffles me. Have you ever watched it? It's ridiculous. So that's where you need to start. You need to accept the fact that they lied, NASA lied. They brought Nazis over here in Operation Paperclip. They supposedly took us to the moon, but they lied with the black and white movie they filmed in the studio, and that's why they can't go back under their own admission, because they said they destroyed the technology and they can't replicate it. I have an iPhone 12 that has better processing than an entire warehouse of computers in the 60s. Technology gets better, not worse. So while we give them $60 million a day, they can't rebuild a rocket they built in the 60s. Anyone want to enlighten me on that one? We can't go back to the moon because they never went to the moon. You can't go to the moon. Space has been defined. A vacuum of space can't even exist, okay? And I told you straight up, if you guys have been listening, the government went to explore the Antarctic region in Operation High Jump, came back, then the guy that took us there said there's way more land than they know about. Then he died. Then they founded NASA in '58, and then in '59 they signed the Antarctic Treaty and said it's illegal for you to go there. Every major world superpower has agreed it's illegal for us to go explore Antarctica and see if it's a ball or not. Probably just another coincidence, though. Okay, so this is very important. The implications of this are immense. Most people, this makes them uncomfortable. Hearing all this evidence, they know they can't debate it, they don't know anything about it, so it makes them uncomfortable. They'll normally attack me or make fun of me, or they'll just walk by and act like it didn't happen and try to convince themselves it isn't real because it makes them uncomfortable. Or they'll say, what's it even matter? Even if it was flat, who cares? No big deal, I got a 9 to 5. Whatever they can do to justify not being honest about this conversation because it makes them uncomfortable, it matters a lot, bro. It means every single major country in the world is working together, not letting us explore past the 60th south latitude. That's no big deal. It's just called the Antarctic Treaty. It's been signed for almost 70 years. And you don't know what it is, but you know that's funny somehow. So, ignorant people always try to attack people that are more informed. But, informed people don't care what ignorant people think. So anyway, we can't go past the 60th south latitude and prove what the Earth is. What's up with that? Do you guys support the world's government telling us it's illegal to travel?
I support that Earth is a spinning ball.
You support a blind belief of a fairy tale you know nothing about, you were told when you were 5? I used to think the Earth was a ball too, dude. Yeah, just might as well just leave. So. Anyway, supposedly the Nazis took us to space in the 60s, they just can't take us back. So do you like believing in Nazi stories? Because that's what you do. If you believe in the moon landing, you believe in a story that came from a Nazi, literally declassified Operation Paperclip. What's up with that? I thought we hated the Nazis. Oh no, we love them, bro. They took us to the moon. That's why we can't go back. We're fresh out of Nazis. Yeah, hopefully we'll get some more Nazis so we can go back to the moon. But what about, it's not just the government, what about SpaceX? What about private companies that go to space? Flat earther. Everyone brings up SpaceX and Elon Musk. SpaceX gets hundreds of millions of dollars from the government in funding every single year. Elon Musk is on record saying we can never go to space without NASA. It's an extension of NASA. And he also said they had to give the federal government completely unimpeded access to all of his computer and all of his employees and everything they have. So the government runs SpaceX. So yeah, and they said we couldn't go to space without the government. So when you bring up SpaceX and say private companies go to space, no they don't. It's NASA.
What is he talking about?
The Earth's not a magic spinning ball in a vacuum, it's flat.
What are we talking about?
The Earth is flat.
The Earth is flat?
Yeah. I mean, I know, I get it, you guys have been engineered to like try to make fun of it, but you know.
I don't know. I've never heard an argument against
Yeah, well, we see way too far. We have an observation. You can see the skyline of Chicago from 60 miles away over Lake Michigan. Based on the globe Earth map, it should have curved up and blocked your view. You shouldn't have seen any of Chicago. Yeah, you can see the entire city. We have another one where you see mountains from 200 miles away. Based on the globe Earth map, it should have been blocked by 1 mile of Earth curvature. Yeah, you can see the mountain all the way to the top.
That's crazy. This is really cool. I'll check you guys out.
Cool, yeah. So we debunked it because our technology outpaced the lie. There's something called a Nikon P900 and P1000, 83x zoom, 125x zoom. You can go test it. But it's usually the people that have never tested it, know nothing about it. They know I'm crazy and stupid. What a cool story, bro. Anyway. The Earth is not a spinning ball. Everything doesn't come from nothing. That's dumb. You didn't come from apes. That's dumb. Okay? The sky resets around Polaris for all recorded history because the Earth is stationary and the center of everything exists. It's called geocentric. If the Earth is geocentric, it had to be created. There's no other way. If the Earth's the center of everything that exists, how to get there? So when people say this doesn't even matter, who cares? It's a huge deal. It's a huge deal. It proves that there's a creator. It also proves that the major world countries are working together and making it illegal for you to go privately explore the Earth, which is illegal. Okay? So this is a huge deal. It has huge ramifications. I encourage you to open your mind. So there's something called fluid statics. Water always finds its level. 70% of a ball is not level. Also, just because I know that Michigan's got a few believers here, if you believe in the Bible, or you claim to, just so you know, the Bible says the Earth is flat objectively. It says the Earth takes shape like clay under a sill, and that there's a firmament that you can't penetrate. And of course, the fact the Bible says it doesn't prove it, because some of you guys don't believe in the Bible, and that's cool. But some of you guys claim to believe in the Bible, but then you say the Earth is well. Thank you, bro. Right? The Bible says that the Earth is immovable and fixed. How does immovable and fixed mean? Spinning and revolving, shooting through space with like 11 different vectors. Is that immovable and fixed? How does a ball Earth have a whole face? He looked over the whole face of the Earth. How does that work on a ball? How are there corners on a ball? How are there foundations on a ball? How is there a firmament stretched out like a tent on a ball? So do not lie and say the scriptures say the Earth's a ball. I encourage you not to lie. Now, I know a lot of you don't believe in it. You're so woke, you're atheist, or think you are, or whatever. You're so woke, you think you came from apes. Right? But you did not come from apes. You were created. Science can't even explain dream, intuition, memories. They can't even explain how your eyeballs work yet. They're too complex. They cannot explain in any way how you have eyeballs. Well, but they're going to tell you what happened 4 billion years ago. What a cool story. So you were created. The Earth is special. It's the center of everything. It's not a tiny speck of dust in the ever-expanding universe. The government lied to you. You mean the same government that shut the whole world down this year on the same day, and they all agreed that we should all have lockdowns and curfews? You know who else has lockdowns, guys? Prisons. Did you guys know that in prison you have lockdown and you have curfews? You get to chill in the pod, and then you have a curfew. You got to go back to your cell for lockdown. Do you guys think they just coincidentally all shut the whole world down using prison terms? We're such a free country, we have lockdowns like prisons do. Yay! That's all class. The government let us hang out today. How generous of them. And they told us we have to be scared of the air and what we're allowed to wear. Just 2 weeks, guys. 15 months. Never mind, forever. No one's noticing this is getting a little creepy here? As they forcibly censor those of us that question what's going on, and if I even say the word right now, I'll get kicked off YouTube. My channel will get terminated with 1 more strike. I can't even freely explain to you what is wrong with what they are rolling out. I will get kicked off YouTube. I've been kicked off PayPal, Venmo, you name it. Don't even cuss. Yay, the government loves us so much they forcibly censor anyone that questions their totalitarian orders. What a free country. So you guys should wake up and realize the government doesn't care about you. Right? And everyone argues about right or left, which president they're going to vote for. Did you know that all U.S. presidents are related and track back to English royalty? Did you guys know that? Wow. So it's so funny to watch people. They can pull their phone out and Google it and verify it in 30 seconds. Instinctively, they will laugh as if they know it isn't true. What a bunch of psychos. Every single U.S. president related and tracks back to English royalty. So how kind of them they let us pick out of the family reunion. So as we argue about right and left and black and white when race isn't even real, I don't change race throughout the summer, bro. We have different color skin. Get over it. You sound lame. Stop arguing about right or left or black and white. That's stupid. It's called divide and conquer. That's why this conversation about the Earth is such a big deal. It proves all the world's countries are working together. I proved it. So have hundreds of millions of us. And that's why it's censored and not debated openly. And you guys are basically supporting the government forcibly censoring me, as usually, I have cops just converge on me everywhere I go. And I've been kicked off PayPal and Venmo and YouTube and Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. You guys support the government doing that and forcibly telling us what we have to wear and giving us curfews and giving us lockdowns?
Is the earth flat?
The earth is flat, bro. Yeah, I mean, you think it's funny, but you know nothing about it. I'll give you $100 though if you can answer 3 questions about the globe.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the easiest question I could think of. Okay. How many times does the Earth supposedly spin every day? Once. You're right. Okay. Let's see. How far away is the sun? It's in millions of miles. You gotta guess the number. 2 million. 93 million miles is called an astronomical unit. Well, all the flat earthers do. You know why? Because we learned the model and tested it to see if it's true or not. The reason I offer $100 cash is because I make a point. Everyone that thinks flat earth is dumb, they don't know anything about the globe earth. They don't even know what they think we're dumb for not believing in. How do you know it's real if you haven't learned it yet? That's weird. How do you know that it's right if you don't know what it is? No one wins the $100, bro. It's basic questions. I'm not asking you to find the theory of relativity. I'm asking you, how fast does the earth spin? You want to try?
What's going on?
Oh, the earth's flat, bro. The earth is flat. It provably is.
How?
Because we have observations that are impossible on a globe. We saw mountains 200 miles away, right? Based on the globe earth map, a mile of earth curvature should have blocked our view. We shouldn't have been able to see the mountains yet. We saw them all the way to the top in the back. Impossible on the globe earth. What's up with that? Where did the curvature go? Do you agree with the earth's a ball and has to curve?
Yes.
Well, you think the earth
Why
is
does it?
flat?
Do you think it's a ball?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or do you have any evidence for it being a ball?
No, because
The horizon. You know why it's called a horizon?
Why?
Because it's horizontal.
Oh, you are too funny, my dude.
Okay, well, you know what horizontal means?
What? Yeah.
Flat.
Yeah. I think that was
Go to outer space. Well, NASA admits they can't even go to outer space again yet, so I guess we'll wait till they can do it.
It's because it's flat.
Yeah, it is flat. They say they can't get past low Earth orbit.
Wait, are you serious?
I debate astrophysics professors, guys. You should calm down.
No, we believe you.
Well, you don't have to believe me. Just listen to them, bro. When I first heard flat Earth, I thought it was dumb too.
My teacher told me that it's actually proven that it's a globe.
Okay, how did they prove it was a globe?
I have no clue.
Well, that's the problem, right? That's the problem. It's okay, we were all told the same story. I'm just telling you, I went and tested it. They lied. The Earth doesn't move. Do you feel like you're spinning right now?
No.
It's just so big gravity.
The gravitational pull.
I just said your answer before you said it, so don't act like...
On like the shore of the ocean, right?
Say again?
When they went to the moon,
Why can't you see the other side?
pictures.
Yeah, so you can't see forever. You have an angular resolution limit to your
When they went
eyes.
to the moon and they dipped their...
So what they try to say is like when a boat disappears over the water, it goes behind the curve of the Earth, right? Okay, but you can go out and you can see the boat disappear, and you can pull a camera out and zoom in and see the boat again. So is my camera X-ray? Did I X-ray vision Superman through the Earth? No. You just increase your optical zoom and you can see the boat again.
Earth's flat. You got me.
It is, bro. It's called angular resolution limit. You can't see forever. So if you stand at the end of a long hallway, it'll look like the ceiling and the floor are converging, right? But they're not. You just can't see forever. You have an angular resolution limit to your eyes. What's up? Hey, quarters are round. So, yeah. If you really are, you might be trolling. I know you guys think. If you really are, then you're smart. Then you're smart.
Am I stupid?
No, I don't think you're stupid if you think there's a ball. We were all told the Earth's a ball.
I believe the earth is flat.
It is. Do you have any proof for that?
Yes.
What's the proof?
Your mom.
The sky is the proof. My mom is the proof.
Yeah.
You guys are crushing. Do you guys think we went to the moon?
Yes.
You think we landed on the moon in 1969?
Yes.
I don't know
Did
why.
you, did you know they said that? Did you know that they said they brought moon rocks back and they gave them to different countries?
I did not know that.
And they tested the moon rocks. They were actually petrified wood. Did you know that?
I did not know
So
that.
they lied about the moon rocks.
Yeah.
But you still think they went?
Yes.
Okay. Did you know that there's something called telemetry data that would record all of the evidence? Did you know they said they lost all of it on accident?
Yeah.
You still think they went?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you know that Nazis are the ones that supposedly took us to the moon? That we used Nazis to get there? Nazis. It's called Operation Paperclip. Werner Van Braun's the one that was in charge of space exploration and took us to the moon. It's declassified. Do you think Nazis would lie?
Yes.
Well, but you still believe it went to the moon, though.
No, I like black people.
Okay. Okay. So you still went to the. So the Nazis were just telling the truth this time.
I know.
I mean, it's not like they can't tell.
Do you make a habit of trusting Nazis? I don't. Okay, so let's ask them. Let's see what's up. So you think we went to the moon in '69? We just can't go back anymore?
Yeah.
6'9" cash.
Well, you have to build like rockets.
Well, they had rockets in the '60s. Why can't we go back now?
I think it's a lot of work.
Like we're trying to accomplish different things now.
No, they're trying to go to the moon. That's what NASA says. They just can't do it right now. They say they destroyed the technology that got us there the first time, and it's a painful process to rebuild it.
Well, yeah, that's
Question. They're trying to do
That is so dumb. They're trying to go to the moon, but they said they can't. Yeah. But they said they were going to go every single few years, and they keep pushing it back. They say they destroyed the technology. Thank you.
I have a question.
They're not going to space. They're lying.
Okay. All right. Is it okay to be gay?
That's on you, man.
You guys think it's not okay?
All right. Well, the scriptures say not to, but I'm not trying to get into that right now.
We already dealt with that.
Yeah, we
Wait, but how does the Earth being flat? How does that correlate to no space?
Okay. Well, there's stuff above us in the sky, right?
Yeah.
We see it,
Including maybe.
but you can't go there
How?
because there's something containing the Earth. The atmosphere isn't something containing it. Like the military even mapped it out. They shot missiles up there. You can't go past like roughly 62 miles.
Well, because then you have to like go through the atmosphere. Do you pay taxes?
No. Atmosphere is in. Yeah, I don't know business. Atmosphere is within the containment.
And he's funding that.
So, yeah.
To go to space.
Yeah, they're taking $16 million every day from people like us that pay taxes to show us cartoons. And they admit on their website they don't have real pictures of the Earth. They admit they're cartoons. You guys think that's weird? Don't you think they should have real pictures in 2021?
Well, I think it's kind of hard to take pictures in space.
But they said they did it in 1972.
Oh, there's
No, 69 is when they landed on the moon. They did like multiple missions.
It's different.
So guys, let's be honest. Is it not weird we don't have real pictures of the Earth from
I just
space?
think the world's fucked and that's about it.
That was
But,
Alright,
yeah.
Who
so,
says we don't have real pictures?
well, if you go to their own website, they admit they're not real
Of
pictures.
course, they're gonna enhance them and
No, no,
use them
no.
for aesthetic purposes.
No, they're composited pictures on a flat map. This is what the website of NASA says. They take high altitude pictures, they put it on a flat map, right? And then they wrap it around a ball and have an artist paint it.
Teacher's been lying to me.
Your teacher believes the Earth's a ball, so they're not technically lying. But they're telling you a lie, yeah.
Question: if the Earth is flat, why are all the other planets spheres?
If the Earth is flat, why are all the other planets sphere? That's not a bad question. So the truth is, the Earth is the bottom of everything. The Earth is not a disk in a solar system with spherical planets. That's no one thinks that. Okay, the Earth is the bottom. All the lights in the sky are over top of it. You can actually observe the planets. They're just lights in the sky. The word planet means wonder. Effectively, they're called wandering stars.
Big stars.
Yeah, and you can document them. They're not spheres that are solid that you can land
Are
on.
they round or are they flat?
Well, a quarter is round, right?
Yeah.
And it's flat.
I love that guy.
So it's an orb of light.
Well, I meant like spirit.
There's no evidence that they're spherical objects. But hey, even if they were spheres, right? Say I walk up to a pool table and I grab one of the pool table balls and I'm like, look, this is a sphere. That means the table is a sphere. That would make no sense, right? If I go point to a light bulb and I'm like, look at the light bulb, that means the ground's a light bulb. That wouldn't make sense, right? So the Earth is the bottom, all the stars move over top of us and they reset every single year around the North Pole Star. They just reset in perfect circles for thousands and thousands of years. Look, just so you know, what they say is that when you see the light move, it's actually sitting still and you're just spinning 1,000 miles per hour. You can't feel it, so it makes the sky look like it's moving.
If the Earth is blue and it spins, does it make it gray?
What?
Terrible question. So if you've ever seen a sunset, right? You see a sunset. So the sun, you see the sun's right here, and it'll start to move through the sky throughout the day, right? The globe Earth says the sun doesn't move, that it sits still, and that during a sunset you're falling backwards 1,000 miles per hour, and it just makes the sun look like it's moving. Yeah, according to the globe Earth, during a sunset, the sun just looks like it's moving. It's actually sitting still, and you're falling backwards 1,000 miles per hour, and it makes the sun look like it's moving during the sunset. You know what Fire says? The sun is moving in the sky. How profound. So if you watched a sunset, did you feel like you were falling backwards 1,000 miles an hour? Well, that's what the official global story says. Gravity, okay. Did you know that gravity is just a theory and there's no evidence for it? And if you drop something, that doesn't prove it, so save it. And when you drop something, it's more dense than the air, right? You see this? It's more dense in the air. Have you ever let go of a helium balloon? It goes up, right?
But it's still there.
Yeah, but is the helium gravity proof?
No, the helium
It's lighter than the surrounding air, right? That's why it goes up.
It's gas.
It's a gas. Yeah, it's in other gas that you're breathing. What's underneath us? The deepest hole ever dug is 7.8 miles. It's called the borehole in Russia. It's 7.8 miles, the same distance the Mariana Trench, the deepest part of the ocean is. No one's ever dug deeper than 7.8 miles. And actually, the globe Earth was wrong with its predictions the whole way. You know how they showed you a cartoon in school and they had like a little pie cut out of it and they showed you the layers of the Earth?
Oh, yeah.
Those predictions were all wrong.
Oh, sick.
All the way down to 7 miles.
People make mistakes.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying they're telling you they know what's 4,000 miles down to the center of it, but they don't even know what's down 7 miles.
Other than horizontal
I'm gonna call my
lines,
dad.
what's the proof of the Earth being flat?
The proof is that the Earth isn't curving anywhere. So, like, if it's curving, you'd be able to measure curvature of Earth. It's literally never. How can you measure it?
By measuring the curvature of the Earth.
How do you do that?
You're right there,
I
Max.
know.
It's never been done in the history of man.
Take a ruler, a meter stick,
Oh.
and
Is the meteor stick curved?
Yes.
Hey,
Bend it.
No, you don't bend. No one goes and bends the ruler around the Earth.
Wait, what about bendable ones?
But the Earth is flat when you measure it. It's called plane survey data. The only way we have maps or build things is to measure it assuming it's flat. No one's ever measured the curvature of the Earth. Which, by the way, it has to be there if it's a ball. Just in case you guys didn't know. And it has to curve at a certain rate. So, very simple. The Earth has to curve at roughly 8 inches per mile squared. It's called Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared, right? The Earth has to curve at a certain rate if it's a ball. It doesn't curve at that rate, though. That's why we've been testing it. So if the Earth is flat in Florida and in Kansas and in New York later, and in California and in Japan and in Australia and in China, then what's the Earth? Where's it curving? Where's it curving? You guys have never tested it, but you know it's crazy. If it's not curving anywhere, what is it? Yeah. So we have observation where you see the mountains in France from 200 miles away. Based on the globe Earth map, it should have been blocked by 1 mile of Earth curvature, yet we could see the mountains. Anyone want to tell me how that works on a ball? Ask an astronaut? I actually debate one. He can't answer it. He can't answer it, so.
I'm sure you
That's called, yeah, I literally debate astrophysics professors and aerospace engineers.
Sure. Name one.
Aerospace engineer, that
who?
I don't have to know his name.
Yeah, you
Jake.
because you're an idiot.
I'm an idiot.
Yeah, you need to
What's your IQ, smart guy?
research your shit.
Since I'm an
before you
idiot,
start running
I'll give you
around
$100 cash if you can answer 3
I'll give you
questions,
a
right?
goodbye and go
Yeah,
fuck
you don't
yourself.
know anything. It's always little gamma males, though, that want to act like they're tough. Okay, you want to try to win the money? If you get 3 questions right about the globe Earth, you win $100.
Alright.
Okay.
Alright.
How many times does the Earth supposedly spin every 24 hours?
That's probably like 1.
1, that's correct.
Alright.
Okay. How fast do we revolve around the sun?
Probably like half, right? 3,000 miles per hour?
No, thanks for trying, man. It's 66,600 miles per hour. Just coincidentally, 666. You ever heard of the number 666? Hey, who's heard of the number 666? Let's see how many times the globe Earth coincidentally has 666 in it, since you guys are coincidence theorists. The curvature of the Earth is 0.666 feet per mile squared. The circumference of the Earth in nautical miles is 21,600, which is 6 times 6 times 600. Supposedly, the North and Arctic circles are at 66.6 degrees latitude. Supposedly, we're on a 66.6 degree tilt while we're going around the sun 66,600 miles per hour using gravity that was discovered in 1666. What a coincidence! There's a bunch of coincidences. You're a conspiracy theorist. Okay, actually Luciferians, if you know what a Lucifer is, Luciferians, that's what you have to know to make this a 33rd degree masonry. They love the number 666, they stamped it on there. You actually can't be a 33rd degree Mason unless you know the Earth is flat, by the way. So the G in the Freemason symbol stands for geometria, which means measurement of the Earth. It has a square and a compass because that's how you measure a flat Earth.
Can I ask a question?
What's up?
If the Earth is flat, how would someone fall off of it like?
If the Earth's flat, why doesn't someone fall off? Can you fall off of a lake? You can fall off a lake?
Depends where the lake is.
What lake can you fall off of?
Ones that are in the sky.
Lakes that are in the sky.
Well, like, not in the sky, but like by a cliff. You can fall off the lake into the cliff.
There's a lake that's on a cliff.
Not meant to drop off the
Yeah, like say there's
The water would fall off on
there's
it.
a lake, and then there's a
Okay, the answer is no. You can't fall off of a lake.
down the
You
water.
can't fall off a lake or off of a pond. It's because it's contained, it has a shoreline. So the water on the Earth is contained, and it's illegal for us to go out there. It's called the Antarctic Treaty. Do you think it's weird that all the countries in the world signed a treaty that says it's illegal for us to go out past the 60th south latitude, which is a circle around us?
How would you
It's illegal.
How would someone travel from Russia to, what's it called?
More efficiently on a flat Earth. How would they travel? If you name any two places on the Earth, it works on the flat Earth. The United States still uses flat maps to navigate, the military. Did you know that?
I'm trying to think of what it's called.
There are hundreds of declassified documents where the military says the Earth is flat. What's up with that? Why does the military say we have to assume a flat, non-rotating surface to design planes or missiles, or to get the bad guys, we use Cartesian coordinate system on a flat map surface? Why does the military use flat map assumptions and flat Earth assumptions whenever they have to find the bad guys and people's lives are at stake? What's up with that? Hundreds of documents declassified by the military say the Earth is flat. But CNN didn't say it, so it can't be true.
There's a question.
You got a question? What's up?
Why this conspiracy theory? Why is this one important?
Why is this one important? That's a good question. I can see it like probably one of the biggest lies ever, right? It shows that every major country is working together, so they tell us to be scared of China or Russia or whatever, but it's governments versus people. Yeah, so if this came out, people would realize we can't blindly trust our governments, and they're lying to us about the Earth. They're also getting $60 million a day to lie to children, and I hate when children get lied to. That's a big one. And they are also hiding land and resources. As they tell us there isn't enough land, which there is actually tons of land, but so, you know, it also, the Earth doesn't move, and it's flat, so it's geocentric. So we're in a heliocentric model, which means the sun is the center of our solar system. Geocentric means the Earth is the center. If the Earth is geocentric, meaning like the center of everything that we see that exists, then it had to be created. There's no other way it could get there.
Okay, so I do have a question.
How is it created?
So, if the world is flat and we can't get into space, there is also tons of declassified documents that say aliens are real and have come into our Earth. So which ones are real and which ones are not? If
Yeah,
they come out
the declassified documents never claim that they come from thousands of light years away in intergalactic civilizations. They say they have UFOs that they've experienced, and then some make claims without the documents about having aliens. And of course, extraterrestrial means extra terrain. If they're hiding land and they're from outside of it, we're from the inner space. They're from outer space, and that would be the extra terrain. So there could be things that live outside of this area.
that is.
They're local.
But I mean, those are when you also get into the secret space station on the moon. When you get
There's no evidence for that. You can't go to the moon.
There is no evidence. But what are you going to say about Antarctica then?
It's illegal to go there.
Yeah, because the Nazis were there.
Yeah, well, every country in the world agreed. Yeah, the Nazis did explore early, and then we brought Nazis over here in Operation Paperclip, and then we went and explored. We basically made them tell us what they knew about it, and then they signed a treaty that said it's illegal for us to go there, because they would tell you that the Earth's not a ball, because you would come over Antarctica and come up on the other side of a ball. It's never been done in the history of mankind.
But it's not illegal to go to the North Pole.
It's illegal to go within 500 miles of each direction of the North Pole as well.
There's been a lot of reports that know that.
Oh, yeah?
I'm not saying you're wrong. I just want to know why this one.
Why lie? Like, why would they lie is the number one question we get, you know? But like, say you had a boyfriend and I walked up to you with an iPhone and I'm like, I got some bad news, your boyfriend's cheating on you, here's a video of it. Would you say, I'm not looking at the evidence until you tell me why he would lie? I don't think he would cheat. I cook for him, I clean for him, he loves me, he would never lie. Why would he lie? Or I'm not, you would look at the evidence and be like, damn, he lied, and then figure it out, right? So look at the evidence, find out they lied, and then figure out why would they lie. But again, they take $60 million every single day at NASA, but the government would never lie for money. Then they say the 60th south latitude, you can't go past it. Well, there's more land out there, so they're hiding land and resources. They're literally the most valuable thing that exists. They also told you that you came from nothing and apes turned into humans, right? And so if the Earth's the center of everything, it had to be created, so they're hiding a creator. It's easier to have a slave state if people don't know that they were created, because they have to answer to the creator, not the government. But if you don't have a creator, then daddy government gives you the orders. It's easier to brainwash you. So there's numerous reasons why they would lie.
No, and I'm very aware that the government lies.
About
My
everything.
question is, why is this one so important? I mean,
Because let's just say this, not one flat earther wore a mask.
right.
Because once you see through the deception this big, you know that you can't blindly believe the news and blindly believe what they tell you. And so you research everything and you find for proof. And that way, you see through their lies much more efficiently. If you realize something of this magnitude, right, which means that the countries are lying to you, NASA's lying to you, and we know the government lies. It's so weird. People think NASA's like the one exception of the government that doesn't lie, you know. It changes everything. It changes everything. So for me, also, of course, I'm a believer, and bunch of people think that they came from nothing, and there's just a tiny speck of dust in this huge universe. It's random. There's nothing special about them, but they were created. The Earth is actually provably the center of everything. And so that means it was placed there. It was created. Humans have domain on the Earth. It's very special. They have spirits, and they're being lied to, and they're lying to children. And they're telling them that, well, you'll see that the water's flat and the horizon's horizontal, but don't believe it's actually curved. Scientists will tell you about it. You won't feel like you're moving, but you have to believe you're spinning 1,000 miles per hour every day. You just don't feel it. But don't worry, just look up to the authorities. They'll tell you, right? And so children are being lied to, and I don't like that.
I mean, yeah, but there's so many lies to expose.
There is so many lies. I'll talk about a bunch of them, what I won't get kicked off for. Like the Vietnam War was a false flag attack. It's declassified. They said Vietnam attacked our ship, then came out and admitted we attacked our own ship, made it look like it was them to start the war.
That is correct.
Yeah, Global Tonkin, declassified.
You got Project Paperclip, you have
Which is where MK Ultra, the government looked into brainwashing people, literally how to brainwash people.
I mean, and now COVID.
I can't talk about that. Kicked off.
That's
get my
fair,
third
that's
question.
Yeah, I
fair.
got kicked off. Me too.
Can I ask my third question? I answered the first one. I answered the third one.
No, you got the second one wrong.
Okay.
You asked me the questions. What are the questions?
You can't just skip to the third one and get the money, man. I'd be broke.
No, not the mic.
You just want to know what the third question would
I
be?
just want to know what it'd be.
Alright, this will be for y'all too. What's the circumference of the Earth? Yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's 24,901 miles. I know off the top of my head. So is every other flat earther.
I feel like I should know this.
That no one knows anything about the globe Earth, but they've been trained to make fun of me when I say it's not true, but they don't know anything about it. That's stupid. Think about it. Like, if you tell me you know something, and then I'm crazy for not believing in it, but you haven't even figured out what it is you claim you know yet, then how would you know I'm crazy for not believing in it?
Knowing the distance of the sun and the circumference of the Earth.
The circumference of the Earth is how you test if it's a ball or not, because it has to curve at a certain rate. You have to know the size of the Earth to prove it's a ball. That should be the first thing that you learned. But no, they told you about Venus and Mars, and look, here's the name of these planets. It rains diamonds over here, we think, and here's a cartoon of what we think it looks like, and remember the order of them, or you're not going to pass your test. They didn't tell you here's the radius and the curvature rate, and you can go out and measure it and see if it's true, because if you did that, you would debunk it. They also tell you that boats disappear over the curvature of the Earth in school. Then you go out in real life, and you see the boat disappear, you can zoom back in and bring it back to view. It didn't disappear over the curve, it disappeared because you reached a limit of perspective. So they don't teach you the specifics of this model, and that's for a reason.
You're right, bro. I agree.
Yeah. And government textbooks are all filled with lies. They told you Christopher Columbus discovered America while people lived here.
Okay, so you say that you can't walk off the Earth because you're not allowed in Alaska or in
It's contained. The Earth is contained.
But that's not the only place where you would be able to walk off the Earth.
There's an ice ring around the oceans on the Earth. Yeah. That's what people call Antarctica. It has the highest elevation in the world. It's illegal to go there.
Check out the 200 crew.
By the boat from Alaska to Russia.
You go from Alaska to Russia on a flat map projection. I mean, what's different? Why couldn't you do it on a flat Earth?
Because the time that it would take is less than the time it would take to go all. So say
No, it's
Alaska's
not.
here, Russia's over here.
It's not any different.
The time it takes is not.
It's exactly the same on a flat Earth. Okay. The northern hemisphere doesn't change at all on a flat map projection. The only thing that's disproportionate is the south. That's because of a Cartesian coordinate. You have to apply a scale to it. The military uses flat maps to travel to this day. So why does the military use it when people's lives are at stake? Why does the military assume a flat Earth whenever they have to go find the bad guys? Why does the military spend billions of dollars on missiles that assume the Earth is flat and not moving? Why does the military engineer all kinds of planes that assumes the Earth's a flat, non-rotating surface, costing us trillions of dollars? I guess the military is just throwing trillions of dollars to design technology that wouldn't work. Seems like you've stopped this one now. I know the truth is, you guys didn't even know that's really probably instinctively think it's fake. There are hundreds of declassified documents from the military that say the Earth is flat. So, uh-oh. And the scriptures say the Earth is flat as well. So I don't take people too seriously. They talk about, yeah, it does. The Bible is 100% a flat Earth book. 100%. It says that the Earth takes shape like clay under a sill. Earth takes shape like clay under a sill. Because kings used to sign their letters with the sill on clay. It presses down with their design, okay? It says the earth takes shape like clay under a sill. How is that a ball? It says that it has corners. What corners are on the ball? It says it has pillars and foundations. What foundations are on a ball? It says the earth's immovable and fixed. How is that spinning and revolving, shooting through space? It says that there's a firmament that's strong as bronze you can't penetrate. How's there a firmament stretched out like a tin on a ball?
It is a time warp.
The Bible says the earth is flat.
Parallel reality.
Parallel reality?
Yeah.
Can you give me evidence of that?
You even tie it into yours?
There's no evidence for parallel reality.
Bring it on.
I don't debate theoretical nonsense that is fairy tales.
What is the answer to everything?
The answer to everything?
Yeah.
It was created.
42, brother.
42, that's part of sacred geometry.
Right.
So is 44, so is 13 and 12, so is 27.3. Yeah, sacred geometry is the answer to everything. I agree with you. And everything's electromagnetic or electrostatic. It's all about electricity. There's free energy all around us while you pay your utility bills. You should never have to pay for one. There's also a medium, a background. So anyway, but parallel universe is just a theory to explain how there's not a background medium. Because if there's a background medium, the Earth can't be a spinning ball in a vacuum. But I digress.
Relating to the parallel universe bit,
Yeah.
there have actually been people that have shown up out of nowhere, and they're apparently from a country that doesn't exist, and
Yeah.
they can locate it on the map.
There's no evidence for someone popping out of nowhere, and that would, you know, parallel universe. I stick with what can be proven. That's why I'm a flat earther. Like that, you can prove the Earth's not curving. You can literally prove it. You can go measure it. No one here will ever measure it though. They're just gonna post a pic for the gram, and try and find a baddie on Snapchat. And Polo G just dropped that He Wins Drizzy's album coming now. Well, I gotta watch Netflix. You know, but you can go measure the Earth. You can find out if it's true. You can study it. You can actually look for the evidence and prove that it's not a ball. And most people don't want to care about it because they want to be cool or it makes them uncomfortable or whatever it is. But so I don't look into things like parallel universes. No evidence for that.
Do you have your permit?
No.
So you have to have a permit in order to be in this area during the festival.
And on the public,
Yep, because this is property that the National Cherry Festival is renting.
they're renting the public.
We're renting this road. We have a permit from the city.
So that means I guess they have to have a permit.
If you want to go stand on the other side of the barricades, you sure as heck can.
But they're on this side of the barricades.
Yep, and they're being handled in the same way, so it's just fine.
They're standing right there still talking. They're singling me out.
No, I will go talk to them next.
Okay, well this is public property. Can I see like some type of law that says that you get to make rules about public property?
I can tell you that,
Do we have police right over there?
that we've rented this property. And
You can't rent public property. The public paid
Yeah,
for it.
actually you can.
Who rented it?
Because we have permits to rent the park. We have permits to
Who
close the
did?
road.
Who rented it?
The National Cherry Festival, the Festival Foundation.
Okay, so they made the public property private.
No. It's the same as when you do a permit or close down a road.
I don't need a permit on a public property. So the only time you need a permit is if you're commercially selling something. I'm not commercially selling anything. This is public property. They always single the flat earthers out though. No big deal. The Earth's not a spinning ball in a vacuum. They lie. The Earth is special. You're special. You were created. Don't let them lie to you. The Earth's not curving anywhere because it's not curving. You don't feel like you're moving right now because you're not moving. The Earth is beautiful. It was created for you. The stars have reset for all recorded history around Polaris every single year. We have 77 constellations that are constant. Okay? And they reset every year perfectly for thousands of years. There would be something called parallax, a change in the movement of the stars if the Earth was spinning and revolving through space, but they stay the same for all recorded history. Does anyone want to explain that to me? How does the sky keep resetting perfectly every year for all recorded history? Because the sky resets over top of us in a cycle. It's like a clock. The Earth is stationary, doesn't move, and the lights move over top of it. Provably, for all recorded history. And that means the Earth is the center of everything. It's called geocentric. And if the Earth is geocentric, there is no scientifically viable option other than the fact that it was created. It had to be placed there. So this is a huge deal. It's a huge lie. So you should probably look into it. I know it's easier to try to act like I'm dumb, though. That's the easy route out. Which is why I offer $100 cash to anyone here that can show how dumb the flat earther is. Just answer 3 basic questions about the globe earth correctly, you get $100 cash. You don't have to pay to play, nothing like that. 3 basic questions. Because when you say that I'm crazy for not believing the earth's a ball, you should at least know what you believe. I'm crazy for not believing it, right? It's like telling me the Bible's real, I haven't read Genesis. You don't know anything about it. I do. I tested for 5 years. I've been kicked off every major platform. So the Earth is not a spinning ball. It's provable. The curvature rate of the Earth is roughly 8 inches per mile squared, 7.98 inches per mile squared if it's a ball. But it doesn't curve at that rate. Based on the curvature of the Earth, right, we should see the curvature of the Earth at 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. This is geometry, the measurement of shapes, right? So the Earth has to curve at a certain rate based on the radius value of 3,959 miles. A radius is the distance from the center to the edge of a circle or a sphere. It's called a radius, half of a diameter. The radius of the globe Earth, that I'm so crazy for not believing in, is 3,959 miles, which means you should see the curvature of the Earth at 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. So, 1 foot off the surface of the Earth, you should see the curvature of the Earth at 1.2 miles away. Because the square root of 1 is 1. 1 times 1.225 is 1.225. We have an observation 1 foot off the surface of the Earth. The horizon's over 10 miles away, requiring the radius value to be 264,000 miles. So, how's that work? How's that work on a ball? The observation we have would require the radius of a ball be 264,000 miles. Yet, they said the radius is 3,959 miles. I think just under 4,000 is a little different than over 250,000. This is why in Congress they admitted they censor flat Earth. It's illegal. They literally censor it and forcibly censor us from getting out and having a fair opportunity to tell you the truth because they can't debate it. Neil deGrasse Tyson was supposed to debate a flat earther. Actually, it was set up on Joe Rogan's podcast, the #1 podcast in the world for the last decade. And then Neil deGrasse Tyson backed out. What's up with that? I thought we were stupid. I debate astrophysics professors, aerospace engineers, astrophysicists. So I'm pretty unfazed by people that laugh and know nothing about it. Doesn't mean anything. In fact, I would encourage you to not worry about what everyone else thinks, right? Because I guess back in the day, using that logic, you would have been cool with slavery because everybody was okay with slavery back then, huh? So who cares what everyone thinks, right? It doesn't matter what everyone else thinks. Think for yourself and then follow what the evidence is. That's what we're telling you to do, not blindly believe anything. We're telling you to stop blindly believing what they told you. And by the way, you guys should stop complying to the government when they tell you have curfews and lockdowns because America doesn't have lockdowns. My friend didn't die overseas so that we had lockdowns. Okay, that's what they have in prisons. Prisons have lockdowns. Prisons have curfews. Prisons have a dress code. So now they're telling you what you have to wear, what time you're allowed out of the house, and then now you're in a lockdown like a prison. What's up with that? You guys just going to keep complying? So you need to stand up for your rights when we don't have them anymore. I will say I'm impressed a lot of you guys aren't scared of the air. That's a good thing. So anyway, there's not a spinning ball in a vacuum. They lie, bro. It's not a big deal. We didn't go to the moon in 1969. That is a fairy tale. Okay? It's not a big deal. You think we went to the moon in 1969? Does anyone here actually think we went to the moon in 1969? Did you know that 1 in 3 Americans didn't believe in it at the time? How are we in 2021 and people still think we went to the moon, but we still can't go back 70 years later? Well, 50 years later. We can't go back to the moon 50 years later, but we went in 1969? And they actually, most people will say, well, they've already been. There's no reason to go back. They said that they are trying to go back, though. They said there's many reasons to go back. They want to go back, but that they can't figure out how to go back. So we give NASA $60 million a day, and they can't do what they did in the 60s, and I'm the conspiracy theorist? What a cool story, bro. They can't go back to the moon because they never went to the moon. It's a lot harder to fake it today. We have 4K in our pocket. You can't just show us a black and white studio film. They supposedly called the president from 238,000 miles away on a landline with no delay. You guys think that's legit? Because I just documented 2 SpaceX launches this year, and they had a 1.5 second delay at low altitudes. What's up with that? Wow, 2021 we still have delays, but no, you could talk to the moon on a landline in 1969 with no delay. So they lied. You can't go to the moon. The reason that's important is because that's when we supposedly took the real picture of the Earth being a ball from space, and NASA admits that the pictures they show you now are cartoons. They're computer generated. They can't get far enough away to take a real picture anymore. That's what they say. So if we don't have the real picture from the moon landing, where's the real picture of the Earth from space? Everyone's like, we have pictures of the Earth from space. No, you literally don't. NASA admits they're cartoons. NASA's website says that they are cartoon images. They're computer-generated images that are photoshopped from high-altitude pictures of photography planes. So where's the real picture of the Earth from space, guys? I thought I was a crazy conspiracy theorist. You can go to NASA.gov and read that it's not a real picture. You know NASA in Hebrew? Guess what NASA means in Hebrew? To deceive. NASA means to deceive in Hebrew. It's also an anagram for Satan, but it's missing the T. And that's why when they shoot the rocket, it says T minus. It also has a snake tongue going through its logo. They also worked with Nazis. They also get $60 million a day.
I got a question.
What's up?
So my dad, he's in the Army, and this is a question regarding your theory about the government. They use flat maps and everything.
Yeah.
He's in E7 in the Army, and I just called him, and he said he can definitely assure you that they don't use any sort of flat maps. And if you don't believe me, you can go ask the military. They're right over there, and they have all their coordinates.
I know hundreds of people that have been in the military, my friend. There's not even a map that exists that isn't flat. So can you pull one up? Can you pull up a flat map that isn't flat?
Well, I mean, they can use geographical, like, globes and stuff to...
They don't use globes to navigate. They use maps. So,
okay,
and every map that exists is flat.
Shows the land. This is a waste of time, man. Just step back. We're going.
Well, I guess everyone else that I know in the military is lying.
I don't know. I was just asking.
Yeah, they use flat map projections in the military. There's hundreds of documents that prove it. It also says that to design the airplane, they assume a flat, non-rotating surface. Most people say, I've seen the curvature from a plane, which is just a blatant lie. No, you didn't. You can't see the curvature of the Earth from 35,000 feet, which is where the commercial flight is. Neil deGrasse Tyson, for the globe Earth, one of the most famous scientists in the world, says that you cannot see the curvature of the Earth from 128,000 feet. That's 4 times the height of a commercial flight. Okay, this is based on the math of the Earth. That's why you couldn't see it from that height. So when people say you can see the curvature of the Earth from a plane, they're just lying. I used to work at a private airport. I know thousands of people that would disagree. Well, more so about a couple hundred pilots on a first-name basis that all say the Earth's always flat when you fly a plane. You always assume it's flat, and you never account for curvature or the Earth dropping down beneath you, or they would crash. That's why it's called a plane. It flies over an assumed plane. Oh, so complicated. And as someone laughs, that's literally why it's called a plane. Just like the reason that the horizon is called the horizon is because it's horizontal. That's literally why it's called horizon. So, if the Earth's surface isn't curving anywhere, what is it? Can anyone show me an empirical measurement of curvature? What's up with that? There's not one that exists in all the history of mankind, but you know the Earth's evolved because NASA went to the moon with Nazis in 1969. That's crazy, bro. You believe the Nazis told you the truth in the 60s? I thought that was crazy. His name is Werner von Braun. He was supposedly the one that brought us to space, right? He also wrote a science fiction book in the 50s. In his science fiction book, the main character's title is Elon, and in the book, Elon takes us to Mars. Oh, man, the Nazi was a prophet. He predicted Elon Musk 70 years before it happened. Just a coincidence. The Nazi wasn't just good at lying, he was also a prophet, I guess. You guys are coincidence theorists. As the Earth's on a 66.6 degree tilt going 66,600 miles per hour with a 0.666 feet per mile square with gravity discovered in 1666 with the north and south arc circles at 66.6 degrees latitude. Oh, all the 666s are just a coincidence too. Yeah, you ever heard of 666 before? Maybe now it makes sense as to why NASA literally means to deceive in Hebrew. Literally. Just another coincidence. It has a snake tongue through its logo. Just another coincidence. They named all the planets after Roman gods. Just another coincidence. They're sun worshippers, and that's why it's called the heliocentric model. Helios is the sun god. Just another coincidence. That's why the Statue of Liberty is literally a Helios statue. It's a sun god statue. It's literally identical to a Helios statue. Just another coincidence. To be a 33rd degree Freemason, you have to know that the Earth is flat and not moving in the center of everything. That's what the G stands for. Geometry, a measurement of the Earth as a square and a compass, which is how you measure a flat Earth. You get up to the 32nd degree, you have to be voted on to be brought into the 33rd degree, and that's only if you pass the test, which means you have to know you're a Luciferian that the Earth is flat. Probably just another coincidence. How many coincidences can we compile here? Apparently we can't go back to the moon because we're fresh out of Nazis. But we definitely win in 69. The government would never lie, except for the Vietnam War. Except for 9/11, where they told you that coincidentally on the same day as 9/11, the military was running drills to see if maybe someone would hijack a plane and try to crash it into the World Trade Centers. So when they saw the planes off route, they didn't know it wasn't part of the drill, and that's why they didn't intercept them. Official military explanation for 9/11. Coincidentally on the exact same day, they were running a drill about the exact same thing, so they didn't notice the planes were off route. As then a passport made of paper popped out of a fire explosion and floated down to the bottom, and then an FBI agent
and found it and showed us where the bad guys were with weapons of mass destruction. Then we went over there, they came out and said, never mind, they don't have weapons of mass destruction, but we're going to stay there for 13 more years anyway. Yeah. Of course, the day before 9/11, they came out and admitted that we were missing $2.1 trillion of taxpayer money and that they couldn't explain where it went. The very next day was 9/11, and supposedly a plane hit the area of the Pentagon that recorded where that missing money would have been. Just another coincidence.
The government always lies. You shouldn't blindly believe the government. You should test things to be true for yourself. Yeah, just disconnect it. Why is it going down? So I'm just asking you guys to not blindly believe the government and what they tell you. Like, don't blindly believe me either. If you blindly believe me, that's what got us in this trouble, right? But you need to research it for yourself. You need to be honest and admit you don't know anything about it. We were all showed cartoons. When I first heard Flat Earth, I thought it was the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But I swallowed my pride and researched it and tried to prove the Earth was a globe. If you actually do that, you will find out that it's flat. Most of you guys won't, though. You think this nerdy white boy over here is killing my vibe. Who cares? I don't got time to figure out the radius, bro. I gotta post a pic for the gram, bro. What about Snapchat, though? I'm gonna go watch TikTok as like a goldfish. I'm being engineered like a goldfish. I can only watch something for 15 seconds at a time or I'll lose my interest. Don't worry, guys. Instagram's going nowhere. The government loves it. Did you guys know that the DARPA, which works for the military, created something identical to Facebook? And the day before Facebook launched is when they ended it. So they ended it, and the very next day, Facebook started. So, just another coincidence. Did you know that the government admits that the CIA runs the news? The mainstream news is run by the CIA. It's called Operation Mockingbird. Did you guys know that? Oh, no big deal. We should blindly believe the news. You know, the CIA, the biggest trafficker of drugs in the world. That's how you know you can trust them. So stop blindly believing the government. And guys, you need to stand up before we don't have any freedom left. So stop blindly complying to curfews and lockdowns and the government telling you what you're allowed to wear. That's ridiculous. Stop scaring your children and making them be scared of the air. Okay? I can't get into specifics. I'll get kicked off YouTube. That's a free country we're in. Normally, when you're telling the truth, you don't have to forcibly censor anybody that questions you about it. Huh. So they're normalizing giving you lockdowns. But that's a prison term, bro. They're normalizing prison terms, and you guys don't realize what's going on because they let you back out of the house for the summertime. Because get ready for the next lockdown. You're on a cycle. You're like a prison inmate, right? You got to go in by a certain curfew. All hell Biden. He said we can breathe again because we need their permission. So you guys should wake up to the fact that if you don't stand for the rights that we are supposed to have here, we will no longer have them. So, interesting. No big deal. And stop arguing about politics. It's a distraction. Every U.S. president is related and ties back to English royalty. Every U.S. president is related and ties back to English royalty. Oh, if you don't believe me, it must make facts not true. So anyway, you should probably research something before saying you know it isn't true. That's probably the most efficient way to go about things. So don't put your faith in the government. The government has proven to us that they will lie. They will even start fake wars. Why would we blindly believe them? The same government that started the Vietnam War with the false flag attack came out and admitted they lied, and we attacked ourselves and made it look like it was Vietnam to start the war. The same country that did that, the same government that did that, they're now just trying to protect you and keep you safe. And they're not lying. You know they would never lie. The same government that lied about 9/11 and in the Tuskegee experiment. The same CIA that experimented on literally brainwashing you. The same CIA that declassified and admitted they took over the mainstream news. Oh, the same exact government that worked with every major world government in the world saying it's illegal for you to privately explore Antarctica. They told you, they drew a circle around you and said, stay in your pen, literally. The longest lasting peace treaty in modern history. Every major world superpower has signed it. This is an attack on the Creator. It's an attack on the fact that scriptures are literally true. But I know a lot of you clock out when you hear that sound. But it is what it is. The scriptures are literally true from the very beginning. But you don't have to take it. The truth of the matter is you can go test and see if the Earth's a spinning ball in a vacuum.
You need to physically test it. You can actually empirically test and see if the surface of the Earth is curving or not. It's not a debate. They told you that everything came from nothing in an ever-expanding universe where lightning struck primordial soup and rocks turned into fish. Rocks turned into fish. They say your ancestors are rocks. It's called abiogenesis. Abiogenesis. Rocks had to turn into fish. Then they grew feet. They jumped out. They turned into rodents. They also say your ancestors are rats. Do you guys think you came from rats? That's weird, bro. Anyway, they say that fish grew feet, jumped out, turned into rodents, turned into apes, turned into humans. But there's no intermediate species that we've ever discovered, and we just find one little bone at a time and make up stories, and we can't accurately date it because we can't even actually exclude the actual element used for the dating. But I promise it's all real. Billions of years ago, you came from apes, trust me. Even though there's no intermediate species, there's nothing special about you. You're just an animal. Now obey our orders. Everything came from nothing. You're a speck of dust in this huge universe. It's randomly lucky that you even exist. There's no creator. All right, cool, man. Okay. Duly noted. I'll be sure and not stop talking. So people get triggered. The Earth's on a ball. It's so weird. The Earth is flat, bro. They lied about the Earth. I'm still offering $100 cash to anybody here that can answer 3 basic questions about the globe Earth correctly, though. $100 cash. You don't got to pay to play. You don't got to pay if you get them wrong. I know for a fact that no one here knows anything about it, right? That's why I'm so comfortable offering $100 in every major city in the U.S. as we travel the U.S. to tell people the truth, because I've been kicked off of every platform you can name, and I don't even cuss. I tell you they lied about the Earth, but test it for yourself, don't believe me, and the Creator loves you and you're special. Oh man, that's so dangerous, they better kick him off of PayPal. I've been kicked off PayPal for this, a payment processing company. Oh, no big deal, because as long as it's not happening to you, you don't care. So whenever you turn around and you still have lockdowns and curfews and now we don't have free speech or the Second Amendment anymore, you'll care then, won't you? I bet you'll care when you can't speak anymore. Yeah. You know the famous story about the Nazis came, but they got the scientists, they got the engineers, they got the artists. I wasn't an artist. I didn't say anything. And they turned around, you were all by yourself with no freedoms. The same people that used to run around saying, you're a conspiracy theorist, when they said to say, I think that the Nazi regime is trying to take over, and then it happened. You are the same people that attack us and call us conspiracy theorists. Right, but my homie died for my First Amendment. I don't care what you think about it. Literally, doesn't matter. I have the right to speak, and you should support my right to speak, even if you disagree with me. And if we don't have the right to freely express ourselves and to peaceably assemble, we will no longer be free. And in case you guys didn't know, the Second Amendment is the one that protects all the rest of them. So, anyway. But you guys don't care, right? Like, let them censor that guy, as long as he's not censoring me. Of course, and it's fascism because they're working with major companies to do this. That's called fascism. Oh, we're so free. America has curfews and lockdowns. And just for those of you guys that are so anti-gun, but you were shooting rockets or shooting like fireworks up, they're supposed to symbolize cannons and muskets from us, getting our freedom. So if you're shooting fireworks being anti-gun on the 4th of July, it's really pretty dumb, just being wrong. It's really supposed to symbolize the muskets. But anyway, who cares? You have the right to protect yourself, you should know that. And the government's trying to take it away. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. So, the whole world shut down the same day. The whole world went into curfews and lockdowns and they told you what you have to wear. And you guys don't realize the government's taking over? Does the CNN have to come out and say, government takes over? Is that the only way you'll realize it? What do they have to do? Tell you can't come out of your house? Oh, they did that. What do they have to do? Tell you can't go to work and provide for your family and crush the businesses that you've worked your whole life to build? Oh, they did that. I guess Home Depot and Walmart are just safe, though. And I can't even get specific with certain words. I got kicked off of YouTube to even talk about this. One more strike, permanently terminated. What a free country we live in. I can't even read medical journals word for word on YouTube. They'll say it's medical misinformation if I read a word for word medical journal. You are not allowed to freely speak in America anymore, and you guys don't realize it because you just work your 9 to 5. You get on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, go watch your Netflix series, go to sleep, wake up and do it again. So you don't care about the fact that people are trying to wake us up while we still have time, because who cares? I got to post a pic for the gram. So they lied about the Earth. It's not a tiny speck of dust, it's a sphere in an ever-expanding universe. Water always finds its level. That's why we put fluid in levels. That's why it's called sea level. How is 70% of the ball ocean water that's level? Gravity. Gravity isn't real. It's a theory. It has no scientific evidence whatsoever, never been proven. The only evidence for gravity is that we know the Earth's a ball, and that means gravity has to be there because it has to pull you down in all directions. So there's no evidence for gravity. It's called the theory of relativity because it's a theory, right? And that's that space and time bend and warp causing gravity. Just a theory. It's not flat, it's a hologram. Yes. There's no evidence for simulation theory. I can't rock like that. So because we made a computer game, that means the Earth's probably a computer game. Yeah, but you know who's made simulation theory really popular? Elon Musk, the same guy that wants to put a chip in your brain. Yeah, he's a psycho. Simulation theory doesn't have any evidence the Earth was created by a creator. Can't talk. Oh, sorry. But yeah, good. I mean, not medical advice. You can't even freely express yourself in this country anymore. But anyway, the Earth was created. So you didn't come from apes, guys. That's stupid. Okay, you have a spirit. You have memories and dreams and intuition. Science cannot explain those things. Why can't evolution explain how the eyeballs worked and came to be? They can't even explain your eyes yet, and you guys think evolution's a fact or something. What a joke. They can't even explain how the eyes work yet. They're that complex. You were created. You were designed very specific. The Earth is created. The necessary antecedent to creation is a creator. The Earth is the center of everything. That's why every single star resets for all recorded history around Polaris. Oh, you didn't know that, but you know I'm crazy. Every single star for all recorded history does a perfect circle and resets around Polaris, North Pole star, directly over the North Pole of the Earth for thousands of years in all recorded history. It resets every year. What's up with that? Because the globe says those lights aren't actually moving, and some of them aren't even there anymore. You can just see them, and they just do perfect circles and resets, but really they're sitting still, and you're just spinning 1,000 miles per hour, and it looks like that. Yeah, cool story, bro. So it's spinning 1,000 miles per hour, going 66,000 miles per hour around the sun while we shoot through space, and then the galaxy shoots through space, but the stars just keep resetting in perfect circles every year. How does that work? Oh, it doesn't matter. All you gotta do is call me names. If you call me names, then all the evidence goes out the window. There it's a ball now.
Austin.
What's up?
What is the formula for the curve of the Earth?
Well, up to 1,000 miles would be Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared, parabolic trajectory. But you should see the curve of the Earth at 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet.
So should you see it along the x and the y axis?
You shouldn't. They say you shouldn't see left to right curvature because it's so big. So, no.
If I'm standing on the seashore, I can see 3 miles.
Yeah, roughly, right? Because at 5 feet, that's why they actually reverse engineer the ball based on how far you can see. The average is that at 5 feet you would see around 3 miles. Yeah, but sometimes you can see way further than that if it's a clear day. So the curvature, the Earth's not breathing in and out on clear days, like it's just clearer so you can see further. But the atmosphere wouldn't change the location of a physical curve. It would always be at that same place, but it's not. It's like sometimes the boat will disappear at 2 miles and sometimes it'll disappear at 18 miles, It depends on how clear it is. That's how far you can see.
So when you're saying Kepler, Copernicus was wrong? Why?
Well, there's just no evidence for any of their claims. We tested the Earth. It's not a ball, so.
Their math works too?
Their math works based on assuming the Earth's a ball and then attributing a circumference value to it. It's just an assumption of the sphere. Like I've seen an equation that shows how Superman can fly, but Superman's not real, but it's a real math equation, So math just shows you how to theoretically propose something. Yeah, they came up with math for the globe Earth, but it doesn't. There's no evidence for it. So
in Acts chapter 1, the Bible says Jesus flew into heaven. Are you saying that's true or not?
Well, yeah, heaven would be above you. It also says that when Yeshua comes back, the whole world sees him. How's that work on a globe?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Either he flies really fast. Remember how Superman flew around the Earth?
Or it's flat. They say that Satan took him up to the top of a mountain and showed him every single place on the Earth, right? Every single empire on the Earth. Or it could be literal, and he went to the center with a really tall mountain with the equidistant view, and he showed him everywhere. Yeah, I mean equal distant, because if you're in the center, it'd be equal distance around. Yeah. Also, it says that the Earth has a firmament stretched out over top of it that's strong as bronze, and it's like a tent, and where grasshopper inhabits within it. It says the Earth takes shape like clay under a sill. It says that there are foundations and corners and pillars. You don't have corners on a ball.
I agree with that, assuming that what you're saying is true.
Yeah. And then Isaiah in 40:22, he calls the Earth. It says that he drew the Earth like a circle, and most people try to say that's saying it's a ball, right? Isaiah in chapter 20, either 22 or 20, he uses a different Hebrew word for ball. Yeah, so he's intentionally not calling the Earth a ball. Actually, he's saying a circle with the corners outside of it. You know, a quarter is round, but it's also flat, right? Like it's not a ball.
Well, that word quarters means quarters as well, so it could be north, south, east, and west.
Yeah.
But that's still not explained on a ball either. I'm not offering that as proof
Yeah.
of a ball.
It says it's immovable and fixed, right? So if it's immovable and fixed, in Psalms and Job, maybe. Yeah, immovable and fixed, yeah. And also it says it in Psalms and a few other places. So if there's immovable and fixed, how is it spinning and revolving and shooting through space? That's not immovable and fixed. The firmament.
Genesis chapter 1, 6 to 10, like verse 14, like what?
Yeah, yes. And that means the creator is not like billions of light years away from you. He's right here, bro. He's.
The sun and the moon are within the firmament.
Yes. And one rules the day, one rules the night.
I was a navigator in the Navy, so calculating from the center axis out to the edge about 3,500 miles. That's like, according to the Activism, if it's a hemisphere, if the firmament is a hemisphere, that's perfectly hemisphere. I'm not saying that it's a good word. That means the zenith at the center pole is what, 7,000 miles. And we're up there at 120, 175 going, look, we're in outer space.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think there is space.
They can't go that far even.
But if they were in outer space, I believe like the stratosphere, thermosphere, those things, I mean, there's stuff going on up in that ether.
Oh, you know about the ether? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's a...
I don't think it's especially if that's a great diagram that explains the electromagnetism of gravity as the world calls it.
Right.
Electromagnetism says the sun and the moon go around the center axis like an electrical generator.
Yes.
So the power going down the center axis.
Like a magnetic field.
The magnetic field goes out underneath the beam, back up the inside of the firmament.
Oh, yeah.
And that's glass, which is a perfect insulator.
Yes.
And that's creating all the winds and all the tides,
Yep.
currents, and
The magnetic flux, everything.
and all the pressing.
Yes.
Like John requires in his little snowflake.
He stretched the tin out, bro, and we're grasshopper inhabitants, man. It's a very special place, yeah.
I don't know, I don't get it. Why Christians can't figure this
I
out?
get mad. I get mad. I don't know.
So stop getting mad, be glad.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a big deal. Just be humble, right?
You gotta get me really patient.
Yeah, for sure.
Because they've been, we all, I mean, if there's, 4 years I studied before I entered it all.
Really?
And 95% of all my Christian brothers.
Checked out? Yeah.
But a few of them, because I wasn't too pushy about it, I kind of plant a seed, water,
Right.
plant a seed, and let them think about it again, scripture for themselves.
When you really reread the scriptures, honestly, it hits you, dude. You'll like cry. Like I like teared up.
You know, when it finally hit me, I finally just
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah.
good way to find me out.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I'll give you just for appearance, I give you the message of the fellowship.
Alright.
I'm kidding. Thank you, but right here, now, what's your name?
Austin. What's it?
Austin, I'm John.
Yeah.
You told me.
Yeah. Nice to meet you, brother.
Well, let me give you my number. One more time. Is that fair?
Yeah, get his number.
I got it here. I don't have a Q code schedule.
But you can get my number, or his number, because I want to stay on the mic.
Sure, go ahead. I'm sorry to...
No, you're fine. The earth is special. It was created for you. You have a spirit. You're beautifully made in the image of the Creator. You're not like a random ape. Yeah, He loves us all, and He created us all, and you have a spirit, and you're beautifully made in the image of the Creator. You didn't come from an ape, and there's things special about you. And no, you don't have to blindly believe whatever the government textbooks tell you or what the government tells you to do. You have a lot of power. You were created with the Spirit. The Creator loves you. That's right, children. The Creator loves you. You're special. Don't let them scare you and tell you that you're not important. The Creator still loves you. Yeah. The Creator created all of us. Of course, He loves us. Of course, most people think they know more than the Creator, and that's where they get into problems, right? Like most people say they're the Creator, they're gods. We're all gods. Whatever. No. The only way that the Earth could exist if it was created. So whatever the Creator says goes. It's not what humans say.
All right, guys. God bless you. Take care.
Much love, brother.
He's talking about Jesus now.
Yeah, for sure. That's my wrap up.
He's the truth.
Yeah, he is.
When you come to the absolute truth, the end of yourself, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm willing to test you, Jesus.
Yep. Biggest truth there is. If people find out about this, that they can't pretend that they're atheists, and they can't even pretend they're atheists, because if the Earth's geocentric, how did it get there? It had to be created, bro. There's no other way.
You know, that's where another thing that happened to me is that I came to geocentricity first.
Same.
And then I said, well, geocentricity, NASA, all that crap is a lie. And I've got to start getting these other things that are like way out there in my consciousness. And I'm like, I can't believe that.
Right.
Okay, good to meet you guys.
Yeah, much love, bro.
Oh, let me give you one website. Got my website on it, okay?
Sweet.
Check that out. There's you know the doctrines tab, it has a cosmology page.
Oh, nice. Sweet, bro. Much love. So no, you're not spinning around in space about to get hit by a vacuum that can kill you. That's not true. The Earth is protected, okay? There's something containing the gas pressure. There's a container. There's a firmament over top of you. It's stretched out for your protection because the Creator loved you. He didn't make you and then leave you hanging in this ever-expanding universe where asteroids can kill you and all this nonsense, okay? And you can actually prove this scientifically. It's called the second law of thermodynamics. You cannot have a pressurized system sitting next to a vacuum. Entropy will increase, pressure will fill the available space, systems seek spontaneous equilibrium. So very simple, so I'm not gonna leave you hanging. If you have a soda, the reason that it's fresh is because it's very tightly sealed, right? That's why it's carbonated, it has a higher pressure. When you open the soda, it goes psh, right? It's because it equalizes to the lower pressure around it instantaneously. High pressure goes to low pressure. That's called the second law of thermodynamics. Not debatable, it's a natural law, okay? So how do you have a pressurized system sitting next to the vacuum of space without a container? You literally couldn't. It's a violation of the second law of thermodynamics. So space as has been defined is literally impossible. And I don't know if this really matters, but the aerospace engineers that have debates, they can't answer that question. So really let it soak in before you just dismiss it. You couldn't have gas pressure that you're breathing sitting next to a vacuum. That's impossible. The pressure would fill the vacuum instantaneous. It's called the second law of thermodynamics. See, gas pressure needs a container. It's in the word pressure. It presses on the walls of a container. That's what gas pressure is. The gas molecules, they bounce off of each other and onto the container and they build up pressure, gas pressure. The energy or force exerted on the walls of a container. That's why to keep your soda fresh, it has to be sealed very tightly, and when you open it up, it immediately goes, it equalizes to the lower pressure around it. It's called the second law. Heat goes to cold as well. When you make a cup of coffee and you set it on your counter, it'll cool off because the heat's going to the core area around it. It's called the second law of thermodynamics. So if that happens, how do you have gas pressure where we have 14.7 psi at the surface sitting next to a vacuum without a container? It would immediately fill the vacuum. Immediately. People think vacuums suck. They do not. It's a misnomer, right? It would fill the vacuum because there's nothing there. In theory, it's actually 10 to the negative 17 torr, so there's still technically a few hydrogen atoms per cubic meter. So it would still fill the vacuum instantaneously, seeking equilibrium. So what they said space is literally impossible. Of course, they only claimed to go past low Earth orbit one time, and that was in '69 with Nazis. So they didn't go to the moon. Space cannot be a vacuum. It violates the second law of thermodynamics, which means there's something containing the Earth. That's the only way you can have gas pressure. Well, that's convenient because the military tested this out with high-altitude missiles trying to explode past a certain distance, and they couldn't do it. It's called Operation Fishbowl. It's literally declassified. Operation Fishbowl of Operation Dominique, which translates to of the Lord, Fishbowl of the Lord. This was 1962. So, no big deal. The year after JFK said we'd go to the moon in 8 years. So in 1945, the government brought Nazis over here, and Operation Paperclip put one of them in charge to try to take us to the moon. In 1946, there's something called Operation High Jump, where the U.S. military went and explored the Antarctic region. Now on the flat Earth, it's effectively a circle beyond you called the 60th south latitude. There's Antarctica outside of it. It's known to have the highest elevation in the world. It contains the water. There's an ice shelf above it. It's been documented. Anyway, they went and explored this region in 1946. They used someone called Admiral Byrd. All of this is openly verifiable. You guys want to look it up. Admiral Byrd took us there, a well-decorated general for the U.S. military. He came on to national television in an interview in 1954, and he said, "It's astonishing to me that there is a landmass as big as the continental U.S. on the other side of Antarctica that remains unexplored with tons of resources." The guy that took us there in Operation High Jump of the military. He then died 3 years later in 1957. In 1958, NASA was founded, and then in 1959, the U.S. military signed the Antarctic Treaty saying it's illegal for us, as the general public, to go explore that Antarctic region that they had just explored, where the guy said there was more land than we know about. Then he died, then they founded NASA, and then they signed the Antarctic Treaty. It's still intact today, the longest lasting peace treaty in the history of modern history. China, Russia, the United States, they've all agreed to it. All these enemies have agreed that it's illegal for us to go there. No, that's just a coincidence. They're trying to save the penguins, that's why. You know, because major countries that are enemies, they would never fight out over land and resources. They've all agreed. So when they try to scare you like we're going to war with China, no we're not, dude. We're in a peace treaty with China, bro. We've agreed to a peaceful resolution, leaving Antarctica off limits for scientific purposes only, and that the civilizations, populations, cannot explore that area. Antarctic Treaty. You cannot freely, privately explore there. Which would prove the Earth's a ball, by the way, guys. If you don't understand that, okay, if there's an ice cap on the bottom of a ball, you could prove it's a ball. You would circumnavigate it north to south, and you come over Antarctica and pop back up on the other side. That'd prove the Earth's a ball. That's all you have to do. That shuts flat Earth down right there. Never been done in the history of mankind. It's illegal to even try to do it. You know why it's never been done? Because it can't be done. Also, of course, they could just show a plane flying upside down in Australia from space, but they'll never do that either. You know why? Because we could verify live time if that plane's actually where they said it is. That's how easy it is to prove the Earth's a ball. We could just go measure the surface and find the curvature, and then that shuts us up. All you gotta do is go measure the Earth's curvature. Never been done in the history of mankind. Probably just another coincidence. So, anyway, provably the Earth's not a ball that spins around in a vacuum. Okay? The Earth is the bottom of everything. You don't fall off the edge. That's a stupid question. No one thinks you fall off the edge. Can you fall off the edge of a lake or a pond? No, the water is contained. Water always conforms to its container and finds its level. Fluid statics, a natural law, okay? So if you have a bottle of water and you flip it over and flip it over, it's going to always be level. That's why we put fluid in levels. Water always finds its level. 70% of the Earth is supposedly ocean water. So how is 70% of the ball flat? That doesn't make sense. Why do we see mountains 200 miles away in France that should have been blocked by 1 mile of Earth curvature? What's up with that? Why do we see the skyline of Chicago 60 miles across Lake Michigan that should have been completely blocked by Earth curvature? Based on the math of the globe Earth that you think that we live on. The radius is 3,959 miles. It has to curve at a certain rate. So if you walk up to a hill, can you see through it to the other side? If a pregnant lady moves her hand down her stomach to the bottom of her stomach, can she see her hand through her stomach? No. The curve is physically blocking it. The Earth has to do that if it's a ball. And it has to do that at a rate based on the radius value of 3,959 miles. Which means you should see the curvature of the Earth blocking your view at 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. Basic geometry. Basic geometry. Yeah, it is. Basic geometry. 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. No one here knows that. That's why I offer everyone $100 cash here. They make fun of me and say I'm stupid for thinking they're flat. But I'll give them $100 if they can answer 3 questions about the globe Earth, and they don't know anything about it. So it's like, bro, I'm so dumb I don't believe what you believe, but you don't even know what you believe yet. That's weird. Just saying, though. I'm just saying, though. Alright, I'm gonna drink some water. Take a break. I'm still offering $100 cash to anyone that can answer 3 basic questions about the globe Earth correctly. The first question is, how many times does the Earth supposedly spin every 24 hours? Easiest question I could think of. How many times does the Earth supposedly rotate every day? If you get that right, and then the next 2 questions right, you win $100 cash, no strings attached, you don't have to pay to play. And no one ever wins the money. Only flat earthers know this info. Isn't that weird? The flat earthers know more about what you think is real than you do. So how can you make fun of them? It's so ridiculous. It's insane. It's actually a self-defense mechanism though, right? Because you project your intellectual insecurity or your ignorance. You haven't researched this, you don't know about it, but it sounds insane. And I admit when I first heard someone thinks the Earth's flat, that was the craziest, dumbest thing I've ever heard. Because they did very well brainwashing us and indoctrinating us and telling us all these stories about it and showing us cartoons of different planets and watching Through the Wormhole with Morgan Freeman, right? So you just think automatically we know it because we have pictures of the Earth from space, bro. We've been to space. This is stupid. That's what I thought. Then I went and researched it and found out on NASA's website they admit they're not real pictures. They're just cartoons. What's up with that? No one thinks that's weird? Oh, you haven't read it yet, but you know it's not true. You can Google it right now. Blue marble, the most infamous picture of the Earth from space ever, from NASA, Robert Simmons, nasa.gov, blue marble, Robert Simmons. It'll pop right up. It says it's not a real picture. It's actually high-altitude picture stitched on a flat map surface wrapped around a ball with an artist comes in and paints it. Why do we still have paintings of the Earth in the 21st century, bro? I thought I was the conspiracy theorist. You guys believe in cartoons? Is Dora the Explorer real? Dora's real? Okay, then. You can keep believing in the ball. Is Bob the Builder real? Hey guys, is Superman real? Is the Superman cartoons real? No, cartoons aren't real. So when you ask me why I don't believe the Earth's a ball, and I don't believe in the cartoon, because it's a cartoon, it's not real. That's why I don't believe in it. NASA admits they're just cartoons. So there is no picture of the Earth being a ball from space. The Earth's provably flat, not a spinning ball in a vacuum. Because it doesn't curve anywhere. You think I'll give you $100 if you can answer 3 basic questions about the globe Earth. $100. Hey, so did you know we saw mountains in France from 200 miles away? And based on the globe Earth math, it should have been blocked by 1 mile of Earth curve. So how does that work? What? Who saw? No. It's an infamous photographer that takes the longest. What? Yeah. Well, no, I'm actually streaming from my phone. I have a business card once because someone made that sign. Okay. We saw the skyline of Chicago from 60 miles away as well. Should have been completely blocked. This is just a sign that shows you some of the basics. There's probably a long distance observation here somewhere. There it is right there. What's up with that? Why do we see Chicago? It's right there while you're asking why it's not there. 60 miles across Lake Michigan. That's the skyline of Chicago. Should have been blocked by the curvature of the Earth. What's up with that? Why do we see these buildings here? I thought the Earth was a ball. I thought we were the crazy, stupid ones. That's crazy. Why do we see these mountains from 102 miles away? You said something about satellites? Oh. Yeah, people ask, what? Just ask your questions. Alright, we get it. You can only talk while you walk away.
I'm actually convinced they're in this spot, so.
Yeah, it definitely is, bro.
I saw so many videos on it, and I'm like, that actually makes sense.
I know, it's crazy, huh? It sounds crazy at first, though, bro. They lied about the Earth. Why can't we see mountains from 200 miles away if the globe Earth mass said it should be blocked by a mile of Earth curve? Can anyone explain that? What's funny about that? What about when we see the skyline of Chicago from 60 miles away and globe Earth mass says it should be completely blocked? How does that work? Why do we? It's right there, skyline of Chicago, and it was actually on the news. So, how can you see that from 60 miles away if the Earth's curving at a rate consistent with the radius value of 3,959 miles? No, it doesn't matter. I just gotta laugh at this guy. It makes the Earth a ball. As long as I laugh and make fun of him, the Earth's still a ball. I don't have to know anything about it. I'll just ridicule him and project my intellectual insecurity onto him, and if I do it convincingly enough, then what a cool story. Everyone thinks the Earth's a ball. That's like saying that you were cool with slavery back in the day, because everyone agreed with it. Who cares what everyone thinks? That doesn't change objectivity. You can measure the surface of the Earth yourself. Do you know why it's called a horizon? It's because it's horizontal. That's why it's called horizon. You know what water always does? Finds its level. That's why it's called sea level, and that's why we put fluid in levels, so we can build things level. How is 70% of the Earth ocean water that's level on a ball? There's $1 million reward to anyone that can show water bending around the outside of a sphere that spins. $1 million reward. It's been offered for 2 years and no one's been able to do it. See, flat earthers put their money where their mouth is. A literal millionaire put up $1 million if you can show water bending around a ball and sticking to it while it spins, and no one's been able to do it. In fact, there was a $10,000 reward to prove the Earth's the ball. Somebody took him to court thinking he could win the money, and the court ruled 2 different times on the side of flat Earth, saying there was not empirical evidence of the Earth being a globe. In courts, it was ruled on 2 times for a $10,000 reward. Oh, I guess CNN didn't cover it though, so it can't be real. Happened in Georgia, you can look it up. So why does the court say there's no evidence for the globe Earth? Why can't anyone win the $1 million? Why can't anyone win my $100, which is just answer the basic questions about the fairy tale you still believe in? No one even knows their fairy tale. It's like someone coming up to me and telling me that Marvel comics are real, but they just haven't read the Marvel comic yet, but they know it's real. They know that, you know, those superheroes are real. You're dumb. I've seen them on TV. Have you never seen the cartoon of Superman? You're dumb if you don't believe in Superman. So you should think about what you're attacking other people for. Because I put my business on hold, I get death threats, I've been kicked off of every major platform. I couldn't get a 6-figure job. I had to turn it down because I wouldn't stop talking about flat Earth. I've had to travel to the United States and put my whole life on pause because I'm kicked off of everything and try to wake people up as they give us lockdowns and curfews and they start telling what you're allowed to wear, and now the First Amendment is a thing of the past, where Congress admits they censor me and kicks me off major platforms, and the government works with huge companies so they can censor us. That's called fascism. And you have curfews and lockdowns now like prisons do. And I'm trying to wake you up. I must be the bad guy. I must be the bad guy. Just the crazy one that knows about everything you know nothing about. I'm so crazy that I actually know about it. Oh, that makes the Earth a ball. People get so triggered that the Earth's not a ball, dude. It's so weird. I'm sorry. I think we died. What's up, chat? People talking reckless out here, man. I gotta find a charger for this thing. What's up, chat? People will be getting so mad, bro. Great spot, yeah, for sure. Can't believe that the mic died, bro. It's lame. I think we're going to grab another mic. I gotta look and see if I have a charger in my backpack. Just check, and I'll read the chat. Something called the Antarctic Treaty. It's illegal to go out past the 60th south latitude. There's an ice ring. Antarctica has the highest elevation in the world, so you can't go past it. So we don't know exactly what's beyond it. It's illegal. They don't let anyone go there.
How do you explain the NASA images that were taken that shows the curvature of the Earth?
Yeah, NASA admits they're not real pictures, that they're computer generated.
I mean, if we really wanted to, we could take a nuke and blow a hole in those glaciers. There would be an edge somewhere. It would drop off somewhere, right?
Well, yeah, there's also something containing the Earth, so it could come down and you can't go past it. It's illegal to go see. But the Earth is flat because it's not curving anywhere.
illegal things stop people?
Yeah, people have tried to go, and the world's military intercept them and arrest them for years without even going to court. So, yeah, it does.
Okay, so what about the other edges of things? Like this?
There's a giant
It's
circle.
just the top of, like there's just two sides?
There's a giant ice string around the Earth, and the deepest hole ever dug is 7.8 miles, so no one knows what's past that.
So how do you get from here and then go over to Japan and go around to Europe and then back to America?
Because you use a
Because that's a circle.
Yeah, a circle would work on a flat Earth as well. It's called circumnavigation. You use a compass that points north, and you go east relative to north, which is the center of the flat Earth, and you come back around to where
We're going in a straight line.
No, you're not. You're updating east or west relative to north.
You're not a plane going like.
Yeah, even on the globe Earth, you're going east or west relative to where the compass updates to north.
I have pictures on my phone.
Circumnavigation is identical on globe Earth and flat Earth, east to west, objectively. I debate astrophysics professors.
So on maps, since maps have to be translated to a flat surface, unless it's a globe, they, like Iceland and what is it, Greenland, are like, Iceland's way bigger, but actually they're like pretty similar. That translates more of a square map. You can't
Sorry, ask your question again.
How do you explain on my phone I have from being up in an airplane, because I saw the curvature of the Earth and I thought that was pretty damn cool, so I took a video that showed that the Earth was curving.
You can't see the curvature of the Earth from the plane.
I have.
Okay, well, I know hundreds of pilots that have flown for over 20 years that say that you're wrong. So, objectively, you can't see the curvature of the Earth from the plane. Commercial flights, so, yeah, you can't see it. No, it doesn't. So, the curvature of the Earth can't be seen from 30,000 feet, even if the Earth was above the base of the geometry of the Earth, you cannot see it. Commercial flight planes fly at 30,000 feet. Have you ever heard of Neil deGrasse Tyson? Very famous scientist for your side, okay? He said you can't see the curvature from 128,000 feet. It would still be flat up there. That's 4 times the height of a commercial flight. I know hundreds of pilots, I work in a private airport. I know hundreds of pilots that still fly for the military. Dozens, right? And they all say that you do not account for the Earth curving, you don't see the Earth curving. I've been on a plane. Now there are actually some triple windows. Like when you're on a curvature, ways to make the curve are the painted lines.
Right, so why is every star, every other planet that's ever been taken, that's ever been recorded, they're all circular? The Earth is the only flat thing in the entire universe.
First of all, the Earth is a lot of light over top of us. It's not a disk in the solar system. But it's a quarter of all. It's a quarter round. It's a quarter circle. Yeah, well,
Okay, explain Jupiter. Jupiter is completely made up of gas.
How's a planet of gas stay in a vacuum?
Because of the storms. Storms help actually, if you look it up, the storms help keep it. Storm system, the major storm systems in Jupiter help keep it.
How do you prove what's true?
I wouldn't know. I'm not.
It's called spectroscopy. It's just a theoretical science. It doesn't have any evidence. There's no evidence of what Jupiter is made of. And every time you look into the sky, there are orbs of light that are circles. I document them all the time with planets. They all move around Polaris and reset every single year for all recorded district. Perfect circles around the North Pole star directly over the North Pole. They just reset perfect circles around us.
I have a question. How do seasons work if the Earth is flat?
All the sun moves over top of it and it goes in and out. So it has a path closer to the center and further out throughout the year. Very simple.
So if this is a flat Earth right here, you're telling me the sun's going like this? Okay, then why would it not disappear? Because the sun is absolutely gigantic.
How do you know how big the sun is?
Look at it.
The sun looks smaller than the Earth. You can see the whole sun. You can see the whole Earth.
Yeah, well that tree looks tiny from over here.
Okay, so you're saying it could really far away. That's true, but there's no evidence of how big the sun is. You said the sun would disappear. It disappears every day, bro. It's called sunset.
Yeah, I know.
So it gets too far away from you where you can't see it and it comes back where you can see it. Very simple.
Alright, so
So if that's true for that, then how the hell do we see stars that are billions and billions and billions of light years away?
How do you know they're billions of light years away? Because the math says it has to be for the Earth to be a spinning ball, because the stars reset every year. So since they reset for thousands of years, they would have to change based on us spinning and revolving and shooting through space. So they say that they're thousands or millions of light years away, and that's why we don't see them change. Because they had to say that number for the math to work. They did not go measure something thousands of light years away. There is no evidence for that at all.
So what is the definitive evidence that the Earth is flat?
We actually measure the surface of the Earth, and it's not curving at the rate it has to be curving. It's all Skyline in Chicago, almost 60 miles away. Over the map, we had the entire Skyline in Chicago blocked. We have an observation 100 miles away where the mountains are then blocked. We have another observation with the mountains 200 miles away where there's 1 mile of Earth curvature that you can see the top of the mountain back 223 miles away.
I just watched a video disputing flat Earth. Okay. They were taking windmills, the hydro wheels out in the ocean or whatever off some Scandinavian country or whatever. And going, okay, you can see where the base of it is on water, and then the shaft, and the propellers swing 100 feet up, whatever. Yeah. And the ones that were further out couldn't see the base because of the curvature.
No, because if you how's it echo? If you go back the next day, you can actually see different distances. So it's based on the atmosphere. It changes. Like you can see a boat from 7 miles away. If you go back the next day, you can see it from 9 miles away. If the Earth did not breathe in and out and get bigger and smaller, it's not because of the curvature. It's because you can only see so far based on your angular resolution limits to your eyes or whatever the optical device is, right? The limit of perspective and then how clear the atmosphere is. So when you see the windmill at a certain distance, it's because you can't see further than that based on atmospheric conditions. If you go back the next day, it might look closer. It might get blocked closer. It might get blocked further away. It's not the curvature of the Earth, though.
It's also interesting to know that how flat Earth started.
It started thousands of years ago.
Nevertheless, then after the Perkins and all that other stuff, whatever they are, it started as a joke like 30 years ago, and now it's become a religion.
Just saying.
Same thing as
your globe Earth is a religion.
Same thing as Christianity started by some chick saying that, oh no, I didn't think that. No. God gave me space. Or Scientology.
Wow. How does Christianity start with that whenever the Hebrew texts predate them for thousands of years? How does the globe Earth, how does flat Earth?
Christianity started when they said, oh.
It's built upon the Torah as well. And that's actually the whole point of the Torah's prophetic.
Catholic Church, Nicaea,
the Catholic Church absorbed the Hebrew.
23,
You're not going to,
or whatever.
The Roman Catholic Church lied about it, took it, changed it, moved the Sabbath to Sunday, changed everything. That's a religion. The scriptures aren't a religion. The scriptures against religion. Back to the Earth, though. It did not start as a flat Earth joke. Everyone's known the Earth is flat for all recorded history.
No, they didn't.
Really, name an ancient civilization that thought the Earth was a ball.
Everybody did.
Name one.
Greeks.
Yeah, Greeks are the supposed ones that decided they thought it could be a ball.
And it was history.
Greeks are the only one that supposedly said the Earth would be a ball.
Mayans said it too.
Mayans said the Earth was flat.
No. I'm pretty sure the Aztecas were the one that said the Earth was flat.
The Mayans, Aztecs, and Inca all said the Earth was flat.
Is it on your website where we can go ahead and check this?
Yeah. Just go look up any ancient civilization's cosmology. It's all flat.
I will admit, you go north and you keep going north, you will run into glaciers that'll stop you. You go, east or west though, there is no glaciers anywhere.
Yeah, because it's a circle. You come back around to where you started.
So we're surrounded by glaciers. You should be able to go any way. You continuously walk that way and find a glacier.
That's not how direction works, right? Direction, east and west, is relative to north. So you have a compass that faces north, it's in the center. So as you go east, it's constantly updating north, and you're following east relative to that. That's how you do a circle back around. It works the same exact way on a flat Earth globe, east to west. The one that would be impossible on a flat Earth would be north to south circumnavigation, because you can't go around the flat Earth, right? But that's never been done in the history of mankind, and it's illegal to even try to do it.
And what is the purpose of the sun staying the globe Earth instead of being flat? Why wouldn't a capitalist society say, hey, can we have a view point to let them like, hey, come and see the vista at the end of the earth. I think they'd be charging people to go and see.
Musk is spending billions and billions and billions of dollars. And
No, he's
one
not.
of his goals is to
He gets funded by the government, dude.
tell you guys, but he is not a flat earth believer. He's a round earth believer.
Okay, he gets funded by the
And
government.
if the government funds him, and
The government lies.
trying to keep us from discovering the earth is flat,
Yeah.
then why would they be paying him to
lie?
tell that the earth is round?
Because a lot of people stopped believing in NASA, because even 1 in 3 Americans didn't believe they went to the moon in the 60s. So then they said, oh, but look, private companies are going to go also, right? And they actually work with NASA. They get hundreds of millions of dollars. Elon said we would have never been to space unless NASA took us. They had to get full access to the federal government of all of his employees and all of his computers. The government basically took over from SpaceX and funds it and say that they're the only reason they could even get to space. So it's just NASA extended because people stopped believing in NASA. And there's the answer to your question. Elon Musk was prophesized in a book written by Werner von Braun, a Nazi brought over here that took us to the moon. He wrote a science fiction book in the 50s. The main character's title was Elon, and in the book, Elon takes us to Mars. You think that's just a coincidence? That in 2021 we have Elon about to take us to Mars? I guess the Nazi was a prophet.
So what's the purpose of it being? If it was flat, what would be the purpose of all these governments?
Why would they lie is your question?
Yeah. What would be the purpose?
Why would they lie? Well, we give NASA $60 million every single day. Every day. So, there's one reason, but the government steals way more money than that. They have the 60th south latitude, the Antarctic Treaty, and it's illegal to go past there. So they could be hiding land and resources, the most valuable thing that exists, land. So they're hiding land. I mean, why would they not lie about that? When does the government not lie? That's the real question. They lie all the time. This is just, NASA's not the exception, bro. They lie too. They work with NASA. You got a question?
Okay, so on a globe, it's round. It's like a, it's a map, but it's round. But when they translate a round globe onto a flat map,
Yeah.
it distorts the size of certain countries and
Yep.
stuff.
Yep.
But on a globe, they're the actual size. But that's when they're measured, like in the country. Like I think it's Greenland and Iceland are close to the same size on our flat map, and this one looks way bigger than
No, the sizes. That's not true. No, that's not true. That's not how it works. Do you know how Cartesian coordinate systems work? Okay, then you would know that when you get past the equator on a flat map, you have to apply a scale to it, because as you go out from the center point of parallel lines, they get further away from each other. So it has to be applied scale on the south, and that's what the military uses to fly, by the way. And you're saying that whatever they use on the map, the globe is disproportionate. Yeah, they're disproportionate, and on the globe, it's also not accurate. The distances are wrong, and it's less accurate than the flat map that all the militaries use to fly. So it's less accurate. That's why if you look at the bottom of the globe, it says not for educational purposes. On the bottom of every globe, it says not for educational purposes. It doesn't have the right distances. It doesn't have the right sizes. The flat Earth is the only thing that's accurate, and you have to apply a scale to the southern hemisphere, which is just a stupid word because there is no sphere. So there you go. When you look at the map and you're like, look, it's way bigger out there, you have to know that you have to apply the scale. Yeah, they use plane survey data to measure the Earth, assuming the Earth is flat. On the flat Earth, they're accurate. Yes, they are. That's what I'm trying to explain. They are, though. Well, it's just a fact. So it's not really about what we think, right? The globe Earth is inaccurate. It's disproportionate. Well, there's an app you can scan, and you can go to Flat Earth in your app store. It'll show you exactly how it all works. Any question you have. But the only thing that works. Look, is there a Flat Earth map over here? Yeah. Okay, look. When you get past this line right here, okay, when you get past the equator, it keeps getting wider. You see that? Because it's a circle going out from the center. You have to apply a scale to this region. You have to apply the scale to this region to get the accurate number. That's how maps work. Yeah, but I'm saying there's. Okay, yeah.
But when it's 3D, that's when it becomes confusing and all that other stuff.
Okay, but you're saying that the globe is more accurate than the map, and that's not accurate. No, what I'm saying is we measured the surface of the Earth. It's not curving. If you want to talk about geometry, that's what debunks the globe Earth. Right here, it has to bend at a certain rate. Okay. Yeah, so the Earth has to curve. No. You cannot maintain a perfectly straight line just walking. The way we navigate, we use a compass. That's how we navigate. Compass is north. It points north, and you go east to west relative to north. Because you can't maintain a perfectly straight line just walking, trying to hope you get it right. That's not how it works. It's impossible. No, if you veer off just a little bit, you're going to go way over there. You would reach the end by going south. Use the compass and south will be out this way. I don't see why this is so complicated. Yeah, if you go south, you'll run into the ice. You go south. Like everyone that's ever done it in the history of mankind. It's showing that when you look at the end of the hallway, it looks like the ceiling and the floor are starting to converge. It's just an optical effect. They're not actually coming together. It's just you can't see forever. This is how perspective works. If you know an artist, you draw it, do you see the picture? It looks like they're getting smaller and coming together. Okay, then you know that things look like this. Okay, well that's what the Earth looks like too, so what's up with that? When people say you should see the sun forever, that's called a straw man fallacy. You wouldn't see the sun forever. Whenever they say boats disappear over the curvature of the Earth, they do not. They reach a limit of perspective. That's why when I pull my camera out and I zoom in, I can bring the boat back because I can see further than my naked eyes. I didn't see through the curvature of the Earth with X-ray vision. Because you can't see forever. So you're saying if the Earth was flat, you'd see forever? So you think a telescope would see forever if the Earth was flat?
Watch a boat with a telescope. Those things are supposed to be able to see hundreds of thousands of miles.
Well, they can't see that far. How can you validate they see that far? Okay, how far is the moon? 238,000 miles, and that's not really, it's not actually that far though. That's a lie. So they don't measure did they measure the distance of the moon?
Oh, so how close is the sun?
We don't make claims about the distance because we can't measure it. It's the globe Earth that makes up mathematical theories trying to explain it without any evidence. The flat Earth acknowledges what is real. Just like the sun and the moon are the same size in the sky. You know what flat Earth says? The sun and the moon are the same size in the sky. The globe Earth says the sun is 400 times bigger than the moon. They just look like they're the same size. Because coincidentally, by cosmic chance, the sun is also exactly 400 times further away, and it makes them look like they're the same size so that we can have total eclipses. That's a cool story, bro. That's a cool story.
If the sun was any closer than
Okay, let's talk about eclipses.
we would burn. We would not be alive if the sun was any closer than that 90.
The sun is smaller and more local.
How do you explain the planets in front of us closer to the sun?
The planets are lights in the sky, dude. Literally. I document them all the time. You guys ever documented them?
I have a question.
Of course you do. You with the P900 or P1000 or a telescope. Okay, so how do eclipses work? Right, so we see eclipses according to the globe Earth during a lunar eclipse, right? The Earth is blocking the light from the sun and it casts a shadow onto the moon, right? Everyone knows that? Based on the globe Earth model in a lunar eclipse, the sun is being blocked by the Earth and it casts a shadow onto the moon. There's something called the stellium eclipse that happens, where during the lunar eclipse, the sun and the moon are both above the horizon, above the Earth. So how is the Earth blocking the sunlight if the sun's up above the Earth? It's called the impossible eclipse on NASA's website. It's called the stellium eclipse. No, I'm asking you a question. Oh, well, here's the thing. Flat Earth doesn't make random fairy tale claims about how stuff works. What I'm saying is, the globe Earth's explanation doesn't work. There's something called the stellium, where the sun and the moon are above the Earth during the lunar eclipse. How is the Earth blocking the light from the sun if the sun's above the Earth? Also, the shadow comes from the wrong direction. It debunks the globe Earth. It's a geometric impossibility. No, it's not a globe. That's correct. How's it flat? Because it's not curving anywhere. How would the eclipse work? I don't know exactly what causes eclipses. It does a perfect cycle. Listen, did you know NASA uses flat earthers math to predict eclipses? Did you know that? It comes from the Chaldeans, the Babylonian civilization from 2500 BC. It's called the Saros cycle, and NASA admits it on their own website. They use the Saros cycle. The eclipses do perfect cycles over and over and over, and then they were recorded. The globe Earth can't even predict eclipses. They don't even have a three-body equation to explain how gravity works yet. They can't make an equation to show how the sun, moon, and Earth would work together. It's literally called the three-body problem. We have an eclipse that's impossible on globe Earth. It's called the Selenian eclipse. They use the flat Earth geocentric stationary civilization's math from 2500 BC to predict eclipses in 2021. So. Probably another coincidence. There could be something that occasionally obstructs the moon in the sky that we don't see. There's all kinds of things that could happen.
First question. Why would they lie to the entire Earth without the Earth being flat? What purpose would they give?
Because there's something called the Antarctic Treaty, and you're not allowed to go past right here, and they're hiding potentially more land and resources outside of there. Also, we give NASA $60 million every day. The government always lies for money, and the government always lies for land and resources.
We also give the military $700 billion a year.
I said hide land and resources. Respond to that one. Would they lie? What would that be? He asked, why would they lie? He said, if why would they lie? If they're truly flat, why would they lie? Yeah, because it's illegal to go.
Or that we're trying to go save people, you're all going to die.
Oh my
or
gosh.
you actually do that, hey, we don't want some arms raised.
Okay, are you a defense attorney for the government, Bo? That's what you sound like. It could be. No, it's not a straw man. You're defending hypothetical arguments from the government's perspective, like a good little slave. No. He asked me why. There's something called the Antarctic. What I'm saying is objective, brother. There's something called the Antarctic Treaty. It's illegal to explore that region. That means there could be land there. Would they lie to hide land? Yes. Oh my. No one can. No, you can't privately explore it. You can't even go there and explore it. So you don't know what the law is.
NASA recorded it. Showed the curvature of the Earth. Showed exactly as a bomb dropped the mushroom cloud.
NASA didn't even exist whenever they dropped that nuclear bomb. What are you talking about? NASA was founded in 1958. Oh my gosh. What's up?
How does that model explain the season? Because the Earth model explains the seasons quite well.
Not really.
How could the seasons exist in the scenario?
Well, do you know how it works on the Glover?
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
Okay. So, as this curve,
it's actually backwards. So you're getting right, yeah, the tilt of the Earth. Well, no, listen. It actually says the closer part of the Earth is the colder part. The closer part to the sun is actually the colder part. And according to the angle, that means that it would be the hottest in like June 20th, based on how the closest to the sun. But June 20th isn't the hottest. The hottest days recorded are always in August. And the way it works on a flat Earth is very simple. The sun moves over top of the Earth, and it gets further away from the center over the course of the year. That's why out there they have summer during December. Right? And so it moves over top of the Earth and it comes back. In perfect circles over top of the Earth.
how does gravity work?
How does gravity work? Yeah, what's that to do with gravity? Can you prove that? No, it's not. Do you know what density is? Okay, so that's density. That's density. That's density. This is more dense than the air. Why? Well, exactly. Because helium is supposedly supposedly gravity pulls everything down, right? Then why do helium balloons go up? Are they gravity proof? Because they're less dense. Exactly. Exactly. Welcome to Flat Earth, ladies and gentlemen.
Why would things be pulled together in space to put more density? Space is basically just a big thing of nothing.
Well, that's just a theory, because the Earth can't be a spinning ball unless space is a vacuum, because the stars reset, so they have to be from thousands of light years away with nothing in between them. so we can do something called spectroscopy to look at it. So it's just an assumption that there's nothing in space. You can't go to space. So, but you're asking me why you're telling me that gravity exists because you drop things. We explained that that's not true. Now you're saying, well, what pulls everything together in space? The vacuum of space isn't real, my man. It's called the second law of thermodynamics. You can't have pressure next to a vacuum without a container. It's called the second law of thermodynamics.
The vacuum is constantly pulled. It's a couple hundred.
Vacuums don't pull. The atmosphere would fill it. Yeah, fair enough.
The atmosphere
Would fill the vacuum.
It is filling. We're losing what? We're losing a couple 100,000 pounds of
Yeah.
natural gas.
Well, of hydrogen. Of hydrogen, yeah. Yeah, but it would do it instantaneously. That's the problem, right? It's called the second law of thermodynamics. The second law. So if you have a pressure system in a soda and you open it up, it immediately goes, it equalizes, right? Okay, that's called the second law. It's instantaneously, spontaneously seeks equilibrium. That's called the second law, spontaneously. If you had pressure sitting next to a vacuum, it would fill the vacuum. I debate astrophysicists that can't answer this question. So I'm proud of you. You're pretty smart for your age. That's why I'm glad you're at least asking questions, but there is no answer. Gas can't fill a vacuum, my man. Keep looking into it or don't, but I know it sounds crazy. What about them? Well, we're talking about like 24-hour light, 24-hour sunlight. Is what you're talking about? Yeah, 24-hour sunlight. Yeah. Okay, 24 hours. Yeah. So 24-hour sunlight happens, but it's not. The sun isn't visible for 24 hours. That doesn't happen. No, that doesn't happen. Okay. But there's light outside. No, you don't see the sun in the sky for 24 hours. That's not what happens. It's light outside. You see the sunlight for 24 hours. You do not see the sun itself for 24 hours. And this is because there's something containing, it's called a coffee cup caustic. If you had a light source, right, it would reflect around the container, around the whole outside. You can actually demonstrate how it would work perfectly on a platter. You have good questions. You should keep asking questions, but, you know, you gotta be honest about it. You gotta be honest about it. This is where it comes down to. Why can't we see Chicago? There's supposed to be a curvature of Earth up here blocking it. If the Earth's curving at this rate, it has to curve at a certain rate. So why is it not blocking Chicago? Why can't we see the mountains from 100 miles away? Why do we have an open one where it's 200 miles away? This is how you prove it. You measure the curvature of the Earth. That's how you prove it. It all comes back to this. People say, what about the stars? What about the sun? What about the moon? What about circumnavigation? What about there's no curvature anywhere? You know? You've never seen a curvature. Well, scientists admit you can't see it from that high, so on your side, the smart. You can't see the curvature from a plane. There's something called the Felix Baumgartner jump. Have you ever heard of that? Felix Baumgartner jumped out of this capsule 128,000 feet in the air. He jumped out, he passed out. It was kind of cool. He passed out. That was funded by GoPro and Red Bull. Okay, GoPro has a fisheye lens on it, like we have a GoPro right over here. If you film that curve, you can make it curve on a GoPro. You can make the flat sidewalk curve, right? Because it has a fisheye lens. That's what they use to tape it. So then everyone acted like you could see the curvature of the Earth from up there. 128,000, that's 4 times as high as a plane, okay? And so what flat earthers did was we sent high altitude balloons up 120,000 feet, and we got pictures of the horizon horizontal and flat at 120,000 feet. So then Neil deGrasse Tyson had to come out, basically in damage control, and say, well, people think they saw the curve of the Earth in the Felix Baumgartner jump, but they actually did not. At that height, you would never see the curvature. That was just the fisheye lens of the GoPro. At 128,000 feet, you would be 2 millimeters above this beach ball, and you would never see the curve. Up there, it would be freaking flat. Right, so you would not, based on the geometry, you would not see the curvature from a plane. You wouldn't see it 4 times that height. Actually, the person that runs the world's biggest planetarium, where you go in there and it shows you the stars, it's in a dome, it shows you all the stars work. He says you wouldn't see it from 252 miles. 252 miles on the ISS, you wouldn't see the curvature based on the map of the Earth, so you can't see the curvature from a plane. I know hundreds of pilots, you know. You actually have to assume the Earth is flat to fly a plane. You don't dip your nose down assuming the Earth's dropping down underneath you. You just fly over it like it's flat. And you maintain a barometric pressure zone. Is it not working? Oh my gosh. Right there. Oh, never mind. Golly, bro. They think they're slick, man. They keep attacking the QR code. What's up with that? $100 cash. Anyone that can answer 3 basic questions about the globe Earth correctly. Since I'm so crazy, we don't believe the Earth's a globe. You should at least know what you believe, right? $100 cash. No one ever wins the money though, so just so you know. No one. We've been all throughout the Southeast, Washington D.C. and Philly and New York City, Detroit. We've been all around the U.S. We're traveling the U.S. right now, and no one ever wins $100. What's up with that? How come only the flat earthers know all the information? I thought we were the dumb ones. That's weird.
Parts of the earth. And when the sun started to set, the shadows from those went from completely different directions. The earth was flat, the shadows were moving in the same direction.
That's not correct.
According to NASA, that's correct.
Well, NASA says a lot of things, don't they? But the truth is that if you use the sticks and the shadows experiment, which supposedly first happened with Aristophanes like 2,000 years ago, right? If you assume that the Earth is very distant and 93 million miles away, that would mean the light rays are parallel. Okay, and then you get a certain type of shadow. Or if the sun is much more local, it would have divergent rays, right? And then you get the same exact shadow. So it depends on if you assume the Earth is distant or not. And we don't see parallel rays, we have crepuscular rays. All the light rays always converge onto the sun in our sky. And they say it just looks like that. They're actually perfectly straight parallel lines. What a cool story, bro. And the sun and the moon just look like they're the same size, but actually they're not.
Why does the sun go this way instead of this way then? When I see the sun set, it goes down. It don't go that way.
Yeah, something gets further away from you in the distance, right? It starts to get lower and lower. That's why this is right here to show you guys that it gets lower and lower optically, and eventually these will converge in a vanishing point called the horizon. See that? Well, that's what happens. The sun gets further away.
That might be something significant, but if the sun is right up there and it goes in that circle, it's going to go down. It's not going to go down.
No, it's going to go east and west. It's going to go east and west like it always does.
Why does it go down?
Look, if it's, look, watch. It's going west. It's going west. That's what it's doing. It's going west.
Yeah, but just in the circle backwards. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and then as it gets away from you in the distance, you can't see it anymore. You guys say the Earth's... Listen. Think about... I'm trying to help you out here. You need to understand that it would do the same thing on a flat Earth. Okay, so, according to the globe Earth, it just looks like the sun's moving. It's actually sitting still. That's what the globe Earth says. Okay, the flat Earth says the sun moves in the sky. The globe Earth says it's actually sitting still, and that during a sunset, you're falling backwards 1,000 miles per hour, and it just makes the sun look like it's setting. Flat Earth says that you're standing there watching the sun move in the sky. I mean, that's insanity. That's absolutely insanity. And they say the sun and the moon just look like they're the same size, but the sun's actually 400 times bigger than the moon, just coincidentally exactly 400 times further away so that they look like they're the same size, so we can have total eclipses. Or the sun and the moon are the same size. And we say the Earth's not moving, that's why you don't feel like you're moving. And they say it's spinning 1,000 miles per hour, you just can't feel it moving. We say the horizon's horizontal because it's horizontal. You guys say it just looks flat, but it's actually curving. It's ridiculous.
Okay, so it's going around like this, and at the point it gets too far away, we get nighttime.
Yeah.
So as it goes nighttime, and then as it comes back around for daytime, it would be coming from the west. And then same with
No, it would come from the east and set in the west.
it disappears, and then what? It's invisible until it gets back over here.
Yeah, it just gets so far away from you that you can't see it anymore.
But how does the whole
How does the whole Earth not get the sun? Because, that's not a good question. Okay, if I hold a flat, it's okay, I guess, the sun is not as big as they told you. It's not 93 million miles away, and it's not this gigantic gas ball in a vacuum. It's smaller and more local. If I hold a flashlight over the Earth, right, and you stand a mile away, can you see the circle of light on the ground? No, so the sun has a certain radius of light. It covers a certain portion of the sky, of the Earth, and then it gets where you can't see it anymore.
It's
It's called attenuation of light. Is the sun a sphere? We can't validate if the sun's a sphere or not. It's just a circle. Just like, have you ever seen the other side of the sun? Have you ever seen the other side of the moon? So can you validate the sphere? Of course. Did you know according to the globe Earth? If the moon was moving 1/4 a mile per hour slower or faster, we would see the other side of it, but for thousands of years, we've only seen the same side always? What a cool story, bro. What a cool story. Yeah, they call it tidal locking. Yeah, which is a fairy tale. What would be powering it? The sun? The sun is a life source. The nuclear fission of hydrogen from 93 million miles away is all pseudoscience. Oh, the Earth? Oh, I don't know what's outside of the Antarctic Treaty, man. I don't know. There are ancient maps that show tons of land outside the ice ring. Ancient maps from China. I think they're hiding lands. Yeah, ancient Chinese civilizations that were just right about everything else, you know. Who? Yeah, I heard Kyrie said it's flat. But they get attacked real fast and told not to talk about it or not to make good arguments. Yeah. I'm proud of him. At least said something. Steph Curry questioned the moon landing and then got latched on and had to go to NASA. Then he came out with moon shoes. So it's really kind of difficult to speak the truth if you're famous like that. And then they have Shaq say it so it looks stupid, you know. But anyway, the Earth's provably flat. I actually think they'll eventually come out and admit it, by the way. So you guys have fun with that.
Supposedly they've seen the rotation of the other planets, right?
No.
Mars, Venus.
No.
Are those just going to be light sources as well?
Yeah, they're just lights in the sky, bro. They're pulsating orbs of light, so they're not static, meaning still, they move. We document them all the time. They look like they're in a fluid. Like if you look at a light underneath a pole, that's what the stars look like when you zoom in on them, and the planets. They're pulsating orbs of light. They're not spherical, solid terra firma you can land on. And even if there were spheres in the sky, which there's literally no evidence for that, we've seen one side of the moon forever, right? If they were spheres, it's like walking up to a pool table, grabbing the pool ball and saying, look, the pool ball's a sphere, so the table must be a sphere. Look, there's a light bulb on the ceiling, that means the floor must be a light bulb, right? So what's in the sky is actually non sequitur to if the Earth is curving. And there's no evidence that there are spheres in the sky anyway.
Why would they care?
Why would they lie?
Why would they care if the Earth is round or flat?
Because they told you that it's a ball and there's nowhere else to explore. It's a limited amount of finite land, and there could be way more land outside of the Antarctic.
That doesn't make sense.
How does it not make sense?
How is a round area less able to explore than a flat area?
Well, that means that they said there's a certain circumference and the Earth is just a sphere. There's nowhere to explore. We know all about it. And they said it's illegal to go past the 60th south latitude. It's called the Antarctic Treaty. What's funny about that? This is all you ever get. Have you read the Antarctic Treaty?
All you ever get is logic.
Have you ever read the Antarctic? Your logic. Okay, does it say you can legally, privately explore it without permission?
I don't know.
It says it's illegal to privately explore Antarctica, man. It's called the Antarctic Region, Antarctic Treaty. You're just laughing and you said you read it, but you're lying. That's all we ever get. Grown men spiraling and lying. What's up, bro? What's up, chat? In a world where people get mad, the Earth's not a ball. It was actually the speaker that died, apparently. Hey, can you step aside a little bit, brother, so the chat can see the stream? Offering $100 cash to anyone that can answer 3 basic questions about the globe Earth. $100 cash. The bigger speaker went out, I guess. The first question is, how many times does the Earth spin every day? According to the globe Earth. Does anyone feel like they're spinning right now? The only people that feel like they're spinning have been taking tequila shots. You don't feel like the Earth is spinning because the Earth doesn't spin. And if you lay down and get the spins, you gotta roll over and put your feet on the ground so you stop spinning because the Earth doesn't move. So you guys think I'm crazy conspiracy theorist, and you literally believe that you're spinning 1,000 miles per hour right now. Yeah, I just blindly believe that because that's what I was told, and with scientists and gravity. Gravity doesn't have any evidence, but it's got to be real. So do you guys feel like you're spinning 1,000 miles per hour? Shooting around the sun 66,600 miles per hour, while the sun shoots 500,000 miles per hour, carrying us through space, while the galaxy shoots 1.3 million miles per hour? Is that what it feels like? Whenever you can stack rocks on top of each other in a river and they'll just balance perfectly, and I can take my drone out and just hover it right here and it'll never move, and I can throw a baseball up and it comes right back down? It's actually spinning 1,000 miles per hour, you just couldn't tell. The Earth doesn't move. It's very simple. The Earth doesn't move, and it's the center of everything, and that's why the stars reset over top of us like a clock for all recorded history, for thousands of years. Why didn't they teach you that in school, guys? Why didn't they teach you that the stars reset in perfect circles right around Polaris over top of the center of the surface of the Earth for all recorded history? Why didn't they teach you that? Because you probably would have been like, this is kind of weird. I thought we were spinning and shooting through space all these different directions. Why do the stars do the same thing forever? You know why? Because the stars in the sky move around Polaris and we're sitting still, and it's just the clock that keeps resetting. For all recorded history. Ancient Egypt built megalithic structures that line up with the same stars they do today. How does that work? There would be something called parallax, which is where the stars would move their motion. So what they say is, and this is what they have to say, is that the lights are actually thousands of light years away. They did not go measure it. It's what it has to be for the Earth to be a ball that spins. It has to at least be 19,000 light years away. They do the math and then they say how far away it is, because if it was closer, you would see them change their motion, but they keep resetting. So I'm a conspiracy theorist, and they say that when you see the stars, they're actually not there anymore. You're seeing something that's not there. What a cool story. You're looking back into time. They're thousands of light years away, we just don't know how to measure it.
Dude, I only know that if the map in Fortnite is flat, that means the Earth is flat. Like,
there you
that's
go.
all I know.
Oh yeah, you could never design a game without assuming.
No, you're retarded.
Oh, okay. My IQ says differently, but you can run across the street like a smart guy. So anyway, if name calling got me, I probably wouldn't be out here with the microphone, would I? Anyway, the Earth's not spinning, that's why you don't feel like it's spinning, and the stars reset around Polaris for all recorded history like a clock. The Earth's the center of everything that exists. Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Are you live streaming?
Yeah. YouTube. WitsitGetsIt. WitsitGetsIt. W-I-T-S-I-T gets it. I will give you my QR code, but apparently they're attacking it again. Yeah, I mean, you can try. I'll try to update this later, but they keep attacking it. Alright, cool, fair enough. Thanks, Thirstable. You believe that you came from apes, bro? You think you came from an ape? You believe in evolution? You think you came from apes? You think that your ancestors are rodents? You think your ancestors are rats? But that's what evolution says. So you don't think you came from rats? Then you don't believe in evolution, my man. I'm sorry. And no, you didn't come. Yeah, it is. Lightning struck primordial soup, and then fish grew feet and turned into rodents, that turned into apes, that turned into humans. That's evolution. This is, of course, a fairy tale. It's not real. Oh my gosh, you didn't come from rats. That's dumb. You're humans. You have a spirit. You have memories and intuition. Science can't explain that. You were created. It is what it is. You were created. The Earth is created. It's special. It's made for you. You have lots of power. You're easier to brainwash if you think you came from apes. Then maybe you would answer to the Creator and not to the government who tells you, now you have to wear this. Now you have to go in by this time. Now you're in lockdown. I don't get my rules from the government. I don't have curfews. I'm not 12, bro. So anyway, evolution's fake. No evidence whatsoever. No intermediate species. So the apes turned into humans, but all the ones in between just died coincidentally. That's the actual official story. You got a question? Yeah. I believe in a creator, yeah. There's no other way for the Earth to be what it is unless it was created. The Earth's the center of everything that exists. That's why it's such a big lie. That's why I'm out here telling people. The Earth is geocentric. That means the center of everything. If the Earth is not moving, that means it has to be geocentric because the sky's reset in perfect circles around us. We're the center of everything. Because the North Pole is the center of the surface. The North Pole star called Polaris is directly over the center of the surface, and all the stars reset around it every single year for thousands of years. That means the Earth is the center of everything that exists. It's called geocentric, If the Earth is geocentric, how'd it get there? Did everything pop out of nothing and then magically explode into the center of everything? There's not a scientifically viable option other than it was placed there if it's the center of everything. So yeah, there's a creator. I think religion sucks though. You know, religion's the way that men control other men and start wars and mass murder millions of people and brainwash them and get money, and that's my opinion. But I would say also the scriptures are literally true. And they changed the main character's name to Jesus when it was Yeshua and all this other stuff, but there's my take. The scriptures are true, but religion sucks, and Sabbath is Saturday. They moved it to Sunday for Sun Worship Day. They tell you, come give me money when you're supposed to tithe by giving it to the less fortunate. They changed everything. They said that he was born on December 25th, which is actually Nimrod's birthday, and if you look at the astrological evidence, it looks like Yeshua was born on 9/11. Ever heard that number before? 9/11? Probably just another coincidence. He was objectively 9 anyway, born on December 25th. So they changed his name, changed his birth. It's the only religious text ever lied about that strongly. Because you attack the truth, that's why. The scriptures are literally true, but religion has been created to demonize it, make it look bad, and to control people. You have a relationship with the Father, not a religion. You don't have a religion with your dad, you have a relationship. It's a personal relationship, he loves you. And he's much closer than they said when they said he must be thousands and millions of light years away, because everything came from nothing, and you're a tiny speck. No. He's much closer and personal.
I did just check the laws. It's not illegal to go there.
It is illegal to privately explore Antarctica.
No, you can't. It's illegal to take anything from there.
No.
I just read the treaty.
Why are you spitting, man? Just calm down, man. Stop screaming at me, man. I'll tell you what it says. You did not.
You just said. I just read it.
Okay. Did it say you need permission?
No.
Okay.
It's
Well, then
not
you were
owned
wrong.
by anybody. There's a whole bunch of different claims.
No, come get on camera, Boomer, so we can just see. Come on. Since you're screaming at me, just come get on camera so we can be recorded while you scream at me.
I'm screaming.
Yeah, you're getting really worked up. I'm sorry, Eric's not a ball, man.
Yes,
it's
because
weird.
I just read the whole treaty just
really?
now, and the.
What does it say about the 60th south latitude?
That there's no one can own on something there. There's a whole bunch of other ones saying you can't go there for taking anything out of the fauna and flora, whatever.
It has to be
It's all
approved.
protective stuff. No, you can't.
Oh my
You
gosh.
cannot take anything. That is, and what's funny, the United States
This is crazy.
one of the enforcers of that law. But you
The
know
United States, along with other 50-something other countries,
anybody can go to Antarctica.
no, if it's approved by the country you live in. You want to bet? Okay, you can't explore. You want to bet 20 grand? You want to bet 30 grand? I'm making 50 grand. You want to bet 50 grand? Then stop. Please stop interrupting me in line. You're wrong. Objectively, 10 grand, 1,000. I have 1,000 in my pocket. You want to bet 1,000?
You can't argue with him because his chromosome count extends to the edge of the earth and back, all right? You just can't.
You thought
win
that was a
against
good
him.
one, man? Good one, bro.
Seriously, though, kill yourself.
What a gamma. Go kill myself? Jeez Louise, what a gamma, bro.
Not that. I just read. If I really wanted to, I can go to Antarctica. It's not against.
Okay, let me tell you. You can go on a. Why are you interrupting me when you just read it for the first time and didn't even know how to comprehend it? Okay, there's something in the Antarctic Treaty that says the 60th south latitude. That's what it adheres to. Anything past the 60th south latitude. Okay, in order to go to Antarctica, you have to get an applied guided tour approval. Okay, because they say it's too dangerous. You can't commercially fly over Antarctica. They say that you could die to go privately explore yourself. You have to have an approved guided tour. In case you crash, they'll know where to get you. That's literally what they say. So when someone comes up here and says that you can privately explore it, they're just lying because they want to believe the Earth's a ball, whatever. Someone's actually tried to explore it 2 different times and were intercepted by the world's militaries. So I guess they just made that up. Anyway. You can't explore there. It's called the Antarctic Treaty. There's tons of subsequent legislation that's been passed since then. 2017, the U.S. military added more rules to it. They say they can seize you without due process. If you tell anybody they're coming, they can seize you as well. They can take everything you have on the ship. They don't have to give you a court date. They don't have to give you fair representation in the court of law. They can take anything. You can't bring external water supply, external fuel supply. So you can't even bring fuel there. How are you going to go explore it? Plus you have to be on an approved pad by the government. So it's illegal to privately explore Antarctica objectively. What's up? I thought you were asking a question. You can't explore that. That's what would prove the Earth's a ball. You would go over Antarctica and come back up on the other side. No one's ever done it in the history of mankind. It's illegal to even try to do it. Now most people will go Google it and say, look, this person went there, and they'll show me the supposed sailboat race. And then if you look at the actual route, it pops down south and pops back up north. It doesn't go over Antarctica, right? So it's literally never been done. It's because it can't be done.
And every major world country has signed a treaty that says it's illegal to try to do it. I thought China and Russia and the United States were enemies. I thought we were enemies with China. What's up with that? Well, I guess China and Russia and the United States, they put their differences aside to say that we're not allowed to go privately explore an entire region of the earth. And you guys will literally attack me for waking you up to it as you defend the world's government taking away your rights and giving you curfews and lockdowns and all the other stuff. It's insane. It's called Stockholm Syndrome. You ever heard of that? Stockholm Syndrome? You know what Stockholm Syndrome is? Yeah, that's what people are suffering from, Stockholm Syndrome, where you defend your oppressor. It's insanity. And it's a literal psychological disorder that has been proven to happen, right? Just like if someone captures or kidnaps someone, eventually they will even defend their oppressor. Just like if a wife has the glove, she has to hide bruises and she'll make up stories to defend the person that hits her. Stockholm Syndrome. So you come and defend to me the lies from the government as I'm trying to wake you up to it. It's insane. It's like you were hired as a defense attorney, but it's all good. They lied about the Earth. Get over it. They didn't go to the moon in 69. The government always lies. Get over it. The same government that lied about the Vietnam War and the Tuskegee experiment where they injected different people from the African American community and killed tons of them. The same exact government that used to condone slavery. The same exact government that lied about 9/11. The same government that lied about every single thing they've ever told you. The same government that did MK Ultra brainwashing you, literally studying how to effectively brainwash you. All declassified and admitted. MK Ultra, the same exact CIA that also declassified Operation Mockingbird, where they said they took over the mainstream news, and when you watch CNN or Fox News, you're watching the CIA. That's what the CIA said. What's up with that? So you know I'm crazy, but you never read it. It's called Operation Mockingbird. It's over 600 pages. I read it like 8 years ago. It was also discussed in front of Congress, and they said, wait, are you saying that the news anchors on the news are CIA agents? And the CIA representative said, we need to continue this conversation behind closed doors. This is all verifiable. Operation Mockingbird. You're watching this. You guys brag about which news station you watch, and it's what you're watching the CIA. Yeah. Yeah, it's called the Gulf of Tonkin. So supposedly Vietnam attacked our ship at the Gulf of Tonkin, and then we went and we fought them, right? Since then, our military has come out and admitted that we actually attacked our own ship and made it look like it was them so we could go start a war with them, called the Gulf of Tonkin. But it doesn't matter what they say. They told the American public that they attacked us, and so we had to defend ourselves. They've come out and admitted since that in Vietnam, Gulf of Tonkin, we actually attacked our own ship and lied and said it was them so we could go attack them. So, because most of the Americans at the time were against the Vietnam War, so they had to lie to them. That's what they do. They lied to the American public to get compliance. So they lied about the Vietnam War. That's what they said. They admitted they lied about it. Don't you agree that's kind of weird? I think it's, at the least you should be honest with people if you're going to try to convince them to go overseas and sacrifice their lives. Don't you think they should probably tell the truth? You mean like weapons of mass destruction that never existed and they came out and admitted they didn't exist? Oh, but there's no weapons over there, but we're going to stay there for 13 more years. Make sure all of my friends die. That'll make America safe. Going to get someone else's business with false intel about weapons of mass destruction and staying there for 20 years. Why'd they lie about that? Everyone's like, why would they lie? Why did the government lie about weapons of mass destruction? Why did the government lie about Vietnam? You tell me why the government lies. We didn't go to the moon. Nazis did not take us to the moon in 69, but we can't go back. You can't go to the moon. So, this guy's so triggered. What a gamma, bro. Anyway, I would say maybe we'll get a cameo of the gamma, but it'll never happen. You guys know how that works. Anyway, I'm about to take a break and drink some water. If anyone wants to come up and try to win the $100, you get $100 cash, no strings attached, if you can answer 3 basic questions about the globe Earth correctly. First up, how many times did we just die? Did we just die? Did we just die?
There's the sign.
What's up, chat? Both speakers died, I think.
We're down to 901.
course, all that stuff is fake. We should go test it, bro. That's the next step. Figure out the radius of the curve. It's literally not anywhere. All right, what's up, Shaq? I thought someone was gonna win the money. I guess everything died, so this is ended. No, my headset died. What? What do you guys think? Do you think that we should come tomorrow during the day? I think it's Saturday's like their last day they're doing it. It's like the last day they're doing it, and we could do it tomorrow as well because everything died. Oh, and by the way, like, I had to unplug this to charge it into the phone. So we're still working on that whole thing because the GoPro died. So really, I want to be able to plug this into the GoPro, which is this is the receiver for the mic, right? Which is right here. This is the omnidirectional mic right here. So I would wear the mic right here, and then you could hear what they're saying, right? But had it plugged into the phone at the beginning of this, but then we had to charge the phone, had to unplug it. So we're waiting until we can get the GoPro right. So it looks like the 360 GoPro doesn't let you use a mic, so we're gonna have to get a different GoPro. I got the Hero 9, it went off after 20 minutes. So I'm gonna have to go get another I have to trade that in and get a 360 camera that's not a GoPro, but has an external mic. So it's just a whole ordeal. So I'm not using the 360 GoPro, it's trash, in my opinion. Such a great place, forced to wait for you. Yeah, exactly. They have to wait here and listen. It's hilarious. What? Yeah, do it again tomorrow? Yeah, we probably will. The girl tried to come tell me that I couldn't do it, and then I told her that I could, and that was the end of that, I guess. So there's crosswalk right here where they have to hear us. And there's one right here where they have to stop and wait and hear us. And then we have our sign right here that everyone's walking up to. It's hilarious. It's so funny, dude. People like laugh when they walk by, but they never can say anything intelligent ever. They just try to make fun of you, and then when they're called out, they like put their head down and get nervous. Like, people are so funny, dude. Examining human behavior is hilarious, dude. Like, it's wild. Anyway, so we have a decent amount of people. We got lines standing, so people are having to stand in line, you know. What a good spot. I know, it's hilarious. Here, I'll read the chat on the other phone. They marshmallow launched me? I didn't even see that. They do marshmallows? What is up with the freaking QR code? Bro. They couldn't kick you out because you didn't have to pay to be there? Yeah. She tried though. She tried. And they singled me out again. There's people over there doing activism. They singled me out. It's ridiculous. Oh, they throw weak stuff. Yeah, it's funny. If you get paid to get access, you don't gotta pay. This is public property. I don't care what they're talking about. And she talked to even enforcement, and they didn't do anything because they know they can't. Yeah, I had like numerous cops walk by multiple times. Just telling people about the Earth, bro. What else? But everything's died. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna chat with you guys for a little bit, and then we're gonna go to the RV. We're gonna get everything charged up, and then we're gonna come back tomorrow. It's the final day. It's Saturday. There'll be more people here.
You're so right. Good job. Rain is mostly made by Bill Clinton. It is. Rain. It's made by Bill Clinton. It's a conspiracy. It is.
They definitely do weather modification. Pretty interesting.
Nope.
They put fake clouds and called
I heard it was made up by the government.
They made like make it rain, you know?
Yeah,
but it naturally rains too. But they like mess with the weather and the clouds and how to make it rain. And they actually make it not rain in places too. Like
In a world. So we'll get everything like charged up real well, and then we'll have like a really good stream where this should last like 6 hours tomorrow. So we'll just come out here early and set up and get everything ready. There are some triggered folks in the crowd.
oh, what's up, bro?
Second beer going on. It's been on for years, way before I knew all this. Thomas Jefferson said this. It's going tricky against you, what's going on.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I think they had to give us some rights though, so if we chose to give them up, that it was unpartisan to give them up.
Right. I learned that a little later. I kind of figured that out. Like, why are they giving some of the answers? Trying to get us
Yeah, because if we give them up, then it's like, and then third, I think it's second degree, the ritual, you actually are imitating the sun. So people, they don't tell you it's degree.
You go back. But one thing about it is that the question that they ask before you take the blindfold, the answer is God. And then they make it, they got the Bible and take the Bible. So that's like one of the things where it's like, bad. You know, but whenever I started digging deeper in this, then I thought like, well, maybe they infiltrated. Maybe like whoever, you know,
Yeah, there's an argument for that. You know, used to be Illuminati lodges, but they got busted, so they went over to Freemasons. They changed the name. So yeah, and I mean, most people don't know about it, but like there are two different Freemasonic Bibles. I've seen one that has all the Egyptian mythology in it, and then you have the basic one you get early on, which is just the Bible.
Yeah, right, Bible, and there's a little section in the front where some of the sign stuff.
Right.
But it's so different.
Yeah, exactly. It's like just the Bible. But there are literally Freemason Bibles that have all the Egyptian mythology in the Bible. Yeah, dude, I held it. It's crazy.
I got,
You gotta
I
hand
got
it
a real
down.
big one that comes from a lodge. It's like from 18 something. 1860. Wow. 1850. It's like when you open it,
Just a normal Bible. Yeah, you have to acknowledge it's a creator.
years of these programs. Yeah, I'm way back years. Like, whatever I like, I don't know. I was like I was coming, like a ridiculous. Meat
We try to wake people up. Like you said, you gotta practice secretive.
Right. You know, I gotta wipe the briefcase. We've been married 17 years. My three boys were like 14, 10, 8, 14, 11, 9. Can't do that. Whenever I came across it, I explained it to my wife. She caught on to it.
Yeah?
She's like, yeah. I agree. She looked at everything I looked at. She's like,
About the earth? That's awesome. Dude, it's never missed. Never.
What's up, guys? Sorry, I was talking to somebody that came up here to meet us in a world. We're gonna wrap this up though because, well, you know, we don't have any speakers that work anymore. Watch this. I like to ask people if they think we land on the moon. I got a few other super funny ideas for content, by the way. I'm thinking about going to a university, pulling out like a board and wearing a bow tie with my shirt buttoned up like I'm a professor with my shirt tucked in and a little stick and teaching people about flat earth. It's gonna be hilarious on a university campus. Also where I'll be Baller Austin and I'll wear like NASA memorabilia and I get on the mic and I'm like, did you guys know we discovered that there's 95% dark matter and dark energy and whoopty whoopty whoop? And then like take it off and be like, okay, that's all a lie. That's stupid. Don't forget your laser pointer. Yeah, I want an actual stick and I want to wear my glasses with a bow tie and I want to be like, this is the Earth's not a ball. It's gonna be funny. And then we're gonna flash smack the NBA finals. So I'm gonna do a computer stream tonight to catch up with you guys and tell you what's going on. But we're gonna actually just head up, continue up. Since we're so far north, we're just gonna go up to the Upper Peninsula. I feel like Yash showed me that right before we were gonna go down, that we're supposed to go up to the Upper Peninsula. So that's where we're going. That's definitely where we're supposed to go. And then we're gonna come back down, hit Milwaukee for the NBA Finals, hit Chicago, maybe loop back around real fast to see Chicago across Lake Michigan. Then we might shoot back down to like Cincy and stuff like that, and we'll get it all mapped up. We're just gonna go. We might come back and go blah 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 blah, then go west.
So anyway, I'm gonna end the stream because the speakers are dead. All right, so the speakers are dead. I'll do a computer stream later. So Seek and Speak Truth unequivocally. Thank you for the super chats. I'll go read the super chats on tonight's stream because I can still see them because I can't see them on the phone. So yeah, Seek and Speak Truth unequivocally. The weak find contentment in the consensus of ignorance. So just think for yourself, right? Like intelligent people don't care what dumb people think. Strong people don't care what weak people think. Informed people don't care what ignorant people think. And rejoice when they revile you for his name's sake, for they did it to all the prophets before you. I'll show you what we were flat smacking. If you guys want to support the tour, you can go to masqueradetour.com to keep up with the tour and to support it and to contact. All right, Cherry Festival. Tomorrow's the last day. There's people out there. So, dun dun dun. And if you want to support, $WitsitGetsIt on Cash App, Whitsitt at protonmail.com on PayPal. Read the messages off you send. Thanks for all the support so far and in advance for anything that comes. I'll do a stream tonight and I'll catch up with you guys. Did you use my prego lady analogy? Yes, I did. It's hilarious. I'm hoping that's really you. I don't know. Snapchat me if that's really you and I'll make you a mod if that's really Kai. But I used the pregnant lady thing twice today. Yeah. So if a lady's pregnant and she rubs her hand down her stomach to the other side and can't see her hand anymore, why can't she see her hand? Because her stomach is curving and physically blocking her hand. That's what the earth has to do if it's a ball. So yeah, I use the pregnant lady thing now. But I'll give you a few seconds okay, I'll snap you. If I see a snap pop up, because people like imitate people, it's super weird. I'm pretty sure that's pretty clearly you though. But anyway, I can always unmod you, I guess. Yeah, you guys heard me. So we're gonna come back here tomorrow. It's the final day. It's a Saturday, so there should be a lot of people here. Yep, there you go. That is indeed Kai. All right, you're a moderator.
Are you making a TikTok video?
It's a YouTube live stream, bro. Okay. Look how perfect this spot is. Everyone has to sit and stop and wait to cross the road and like listen to us. So we're gonna come up here and set up at the same place tomorrow. It's hilarious. There are people on both sides that have to stop to listen. But anyway, I'm gonna catch up with this guy for a little bit. Then we're gonna go home and charge everything and do a computer stream. So, Seek and Speak Truth unequivocally. I'll catch up with you guys on the flip side of the coin toss. Peace out.